But I don't ever remember being like, fuck, life is tough, or turning something small in here into something big that would, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You get shingles.
Yeah, fuck, I've had shingles a couple times.
Jeez.
And yeah,
is there another reason why people get shingles, not just stress related?
Singles.
Shingles.
Yeah.
Shingles, not just stress related.
Well, you know what though? Like out there, the information that's out there can usually points in the same direction, that it's overwhelming amounts of psychosomatic stress. It's the chickenpox virus that's known as
a virus though.
Yeah, that mutates and turns into shingles, whatever. But for me, I'm like, I've heard that my lipid count, my fat count is too low. I walk around too lean too often. And that's a part of it, because my immune system, or even the hormones in my body, most of them are the building block is fat. So when your fat stores are low.
Doesn't it have a lot to do too with, like, if you're too healthy all the time, like you don't have anything your body can fight, then all of a sudden it's more susceptible to being attacked?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe not. The term may not even be healthy, because I think if someone's really healthy, I don't think there's ever can be an abundance of. I mean, I don't think there's such thing as too healthy. That just
like
means
too clean,
you're in a great.
maybe too clean. Like in the sense that, like, if you're too clean, all it's like living in a bubble. Like if you live in a bubble, like where you're not.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
You're
Yeah.
not subjected to disease and germs all the
yeah.
time.
Then your
that your body's
system
not
will be robust.
It's not fighting it. So it's like the kids who eat dirt. Basically, they never get sick because they're always eating dirt and weird shit. And
you hear that, kids?
Eat dirt, eat worms.
Get on that dirt.
You can put it in your pocket if you want.
Okay, I could whatever.
Yeah, just so it's not like floating around or.
You'd have to be like serious bubble boy to have that though. Like you'd actually have to be in like a sterile environment, like a bubble environment, in order to be too healthy to get sick, Stevie.
Huh?
I think you'd have to be actually living in like a sterile like bubble in order to be too healthy to get sick.
The other thing is too, you spend a lot of time in the gym, man. That's the most. There's like
dirty place.
There's the dirtiest place in the freaking.
I should be robust, man. All the years in the gym.
Honestly,
the first gym that I went to, that I would swear like was the reason why I got swole.
Yeah, I got swole.
The I got swole gym is what I should call it. It was in my old neighborhood in Etobicoke, Ontario.
Yeah.
And this area called Maybell. Anyways, there are three buildings. There are two buildings that were called Maybell, one called Cordova. Anyways, I would go into this building, I think it was 50 Cordova, and there was a gym downstairs and a pool. And usually you couldn't get access to that gym unless you were like 18 years old and with like, but if you were under 18, you needed an adult to come in with to supervise you. So I got my mom to write a letter. I think I might have been 17 at the time. And she, like, if ever she saw me trying to lift something heavy, she would get a little upset with me and tell me, like, lifting's gonna stunt your growth. You know, so anyways, I asked her, I was like, please, can I start going to the gym? She's like, all right. She signed this letter for me. I took it to the supervisor for that, or the superintendent. He gave me a gym pass. I remember when first day I walked into that gym, actually, I'll backtrack. For months, anytime I walk by that, the hallway, I can hear the iron clanging around in the basement. Cling, 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 cling.
Oh, it sounds nice.
Oh, I gotta get in there. I gotta do it. And then finally I get this membership thing. And first day I get it, I run down there. And I'm all excited. And I swear I was like, oh man, I need a tetanus shot to be in here.
It was bad?
There was like rust
everywhere?
everything.
Yo, that's sick though. Come on, that's sick.
Oh yeah, but in the beginning, I remember I used to I used to buy pro wrestling magazines and like bodybuilding magazines at the convenience store, which was like right down the hall. And
you're gonna wreck that cable for sure. Just wrap it up for me, man, because you're gonna wreck it. I know you're gonna. You did it last time when you pulled it out of the socket. So just wrap it around. No, just wrap the cable around so it's not or put it in your pocket, so it's not like hanging around your kneecap.
So, I get to the gym, realize I need a tetanus shot to work out in this place, but it ended up being like I was used to seeing like amazing gyms in the magazines that I would read. So when I saw that, I was a little disappointed.
What, but the first time going to a gym?
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't what it looks like.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was like
in a grungy ass gym. And I'm like,
and it was in a basement.
That's some Ronnie Coleman shit, though.
It smelled like chlorine in there because the pool was like right upstairs.
Yeah.
And then it was so humid in there, and everything was broken, but I knew how to fix it. I was like MacGyver in there, just like wrap it up. But anyways, there were certain exercises I just didn't want to do because I was afraid of like what my mom would say.
Would break? Oh.
So I wouldn't do bicep curls. I didn't do, like, I actually stuck to like the big lifts before I even really knew them, well, except for deadlifts. But I was like squatting, But mind you, I was squatting with like just a barbell kind of thing. And I would do like bench press, whatever I thought bench press was. I had pretty decent technique at the time because no one ever taught me any of these movements, like hands-on. But my push-ups are always immaculate, pull-ups are always immaculate.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
Shit.
And anyways, I felt like I got swole in that gym because I was doing track and field at the time. And I remember all the other kids were like, holy, like you're so much bigger than the rest of us, even though I was shorter than everyone.
Yeah.
And then the first university I went to in Illinois, same thing, showed up to the gym. The basement was just, there were cobwebs in the ceiling and everything.
Oh,
It was
that's
a
so
dungeon, but I was at home. Everybody was complaining, but at this point I was already like,
You've been to the dungeon U of
Yeah.
A? U of A dungeon?
yeah.
Oh, that place is sick.
So it's like that kind of, like a place like that, I rock with it. You
Nate,
know what I
dude,
mean?
Nate Gym's like that. I love Nate Gym.
I've never been to Nate Gym.
Dude,
I've been
it's
to Grand
greasy,
Mac Gym.
it's grimy, man.
Okay.
And you can change the music and play whatever you want in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. When it's like deader, but the pool's right beside there and it's humid as hell. Everything's all rusty.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that gym. It was grimy.
Okay, what are we talking
Oh
about
yeah, we're
today?
out here. Yeah.
What are we talking about? Shoot,
What are we talking about
hey,
today?
we were
Like,
talking
what's
about
going
some good stuff. Oh yeah. You know what? Right now, there's so much going on
Well, we haven't
in the
started
world.
we haven't started the show yet.
Okay,
we're gonna
alright.
start. We gotta start the show
Dad, you're recording this whole time, eh?
the whole time.
That's
But yeah,
fine,
we
yeah,
gotta
we can
start the
use
show
it.
because we're like at like 15 minutes over, bro. We gotta start
We're
the
beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
What name are we going by?
me?
Yeah,
Othieno?
Othieno.
Yeah.
Okay.
Othieno
Is it
Chi Bey.
Othieno or Othieno?
It's Othieno Chi Bey, but
It's not
everybody.
Othieno Chi Bey.
Othieno was just it was just easier for people to get that.
Othieno.
Yeah, but Othieno is how you pronounce it.
Othieno
Bey.
Chi Bey.
Yeah.
So it's not Pau, it's Othieno. It's
not Pau.
And it's not
Moniker
EJ.
is
So this
Pau.
whole time we were like saying,
The moniker is Pau.
Yeah, pow, pow, pow.
But tonight,
pow.
who are you? Tonight.
Are you
Yeah,
boats? Are we
Othieno
boats
Chi Bey.
tonight?
Hey, you can talk about that, but yeah,
Are
Othieno
you
Chi
boats?
Bey.
Are you Othieno?
Well,
Or
it's-
Pau?
well, you got to say it's Othieno Chi Bey in the flesh. Emmanuel Paris.
Emmanuel.
Is-
Emmanuel
yeah.
is God with us.
Yeah, it means
so
God
Emmanuel
is
is with us.
But
right?
that is the name that I was given. That's the name that was written in upper caps on my birth certificate,
Joseph
which
is-
represents an instrument, which
Yeah.
represents a chattel property.
Okay.
But I've already announced that I'm a flesh and blood living soul through a statutory declaration. So I can't go back, and I can act like Emmanuel Paris, but I in the flesh
Are
am
not
a
it.
natural people. Emmanuel Paris is an artificial person.
Yeah.
So that's just the distinction that I've made. I'm still learning how to
Differentiate
navigate
the two.
through. Well, I know how to differentiate between the two. I know one is a flesh and blood living soul. The other one is a corporate title.
Yeah.
So I still, when I say I have a hard time, it's like I have a hard time stopping people from calling me EJ or calling
Yeah.
me Emmanuel. Most people will call me EJ who know me.
Can you
or-
respond to them, or do you have to say something else? Or do you?
Like
say
when I
something
get phone calls and stuff, like
You're like,
business
"No, he's
calls,
not here right now?"
Yeah, like insurance. No. I'm like, I am the presenter of, but
else? How confused do they get?
yeah, yeah, they get confused. They get confused.
They're like, so we talking
Yeah.
to EJ?
But the thing is,
They're like,
like,
no.
of.
And you're
Yeah.
like, no.
No.
This is
Then
not.
who are we
no, I
talking
say
to?
I say on
Is it-
behalf of.
Oh, you say on behalf.
Yeah, I say on
speak-
behalf
I
of. Like
can-
when it gets that tricky, I'm just like,
I can speak on behalf of him.
Yeah, but they're like, we need to speak to him exactly. Well, no.
Just like,
yeah,
well, you
don't
have
worry,
a problem.
don't
Just
worry,
like,
he's here. Don't worry, he's listening. It's listening.
Oh, jeez, it's listening.
It's listen.
Oh, what a headache is
It's
that?
like, ew. It's listening.
It's just like, what the fuck's it? Yeah, it's like,
He's like, oh my God, I hate clowns. Pennywise. These are talking about like Stephen
yeah,
King.
no, I get you.
Okay, you want to start the show then?
Oh,
yeah,
geez,
we'll
that's
talk
hilarious.
about
What are we going to talk about?
let's talk about identity.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm down
Talk
with
about,
that.
and then that way we can segue into black white, because then it's not just I'm here, I look like I'm black. Let's start out. Fuck
Okay,
it. We can do a
just-
show on
just-
black.
That thing's
Black
black.
is the new black.
Okay, you want to start it off? Start the show off. Go ahead. Yeah, my cam's going to start it off.
Yeah, I'll start it off. I guess while we're going. Hey, hey, it's Cameron Barkey here. We're on the ThoughtXchange. Welcome. We have Othieno Chi Bey and my co-host Steve Van Diest.
What's going on, guys?
And tonight we're talking about black is the new black.
Well, okay, I'm going to start it off right away. I'm going to lay it out there. Okay, I know what Latin American is. I know what African American is. I even know what African is. I know what Nigerian. What the hell is black? Tell us what black actually is.
Well, I'm actually gonna ask you a question, because you
Okay.
said you know what African American is. Now, I would like to quiz you on that.
Okay, maybe
And
I
let's.
don't know.
I see what he was talking about.
Well, the reason
Yeah,
why.
it's true. Yeah,
well, the
it's
reason
true.
why I say that is
That's so funny.
not a lot of people know that black / African American is the same thing. And I don't say this because I feel that way or I think that I know it's a fact. I'm speaking on fact.
Okay.
So I've researched the term black. And actually, when did I start doing this? This actually, you know what? Cameron and I were together one day. We had lunch at Credo, and it was on our way back. I think we were walking towards, I was walking towards Cambridge, my place. You were
What were
going to
we
the
doing?
mall. Remember that day you had a dictionary, I think, or
Yeah.
Bible, and you had your skateboard,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
longboard. And
Is
you
that
were
the day we had coffee?
yes, at Credo. yeah, and we saw. Anyway, so anyways, I walked into the mall and I saw a guy with a fez on.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the
Yeah,
fez.
so there you
we
go.
were together when that happened. Yeah.
So I see this guy with a fez on, and Cameron and I are together, and I'm looking at him like, I got to go talk to this guy because I already know what the fez is about. The fez.
Okay, you're gonna tell us what a
Yeah,
hat is.
so basically the fez is people would consider a fez a hat. We can classify it as a hat, but it represents more than just something that you use to cover your head. The fez is actually it goes way back in time where the Moors would wear their fez, and this signified basically pretty much your we'll say for lack of a better term, tribe. Okay, and really I should say nation, because the way we're set up is we all know we're the human race. So when people really ask us what race am I, black, white, Hispanic, whatever,
only one.
It's only one. All scholars know that.
Yeah.
So the next step that you would look to when identifying someone, if you wanted to go from a common noun to a proper noun, is you would now actually have to look at their nationality.
Which rich environment or region that they were born
Yes,
in.
yes.
Because
So
their environment would change
The landmass they're from.
their landmass
So-
or even change like their biometric structure, because like specific, certain places have more heat, certain places are colder, so
yeah,
forth.
long-haired rabbit.
Yeah.
Indigenous rabbit. Yeah,
Yeah.
So anyways,
Okay, we're in
going
the
back
mall
to the
fez.
fez.
We're
Yeah,
in the
going back
fez.
to the fez. So I see this gentleman wearing a fez, and I'm like, man, this guy is. Most people would look at the fez and go, oh, he's got to be a Shriner. He's got to be a Freemason. I looked at the fez, and already having done some history, I was like, this guy's got to be a Moor. So I was like, this guy's got to be like a knowledge. He's holding the doctrine.
He knows his shit.
So the next thing I look at is he's wearing a nationality. He's wearing a flag. And not a lot of people know why somebody would wear a flag. Like wearing a flag, it looks cool.
Was it Moroccan one?
No, this is actually his own. This is
His
his
own
tribe
tribe.
flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
And it's actually the flag of the Yamasee Moors. So the Yamasee Moors would have been in the southern Atlantic region of what we consider to be the United States of America. So at the time, I didn't know that that's what it was, the Yamasee Moor flag. But I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, this guy's repping his flag. And I know that based on, what is it? It's you have like international law, you have law of the flags or admiralty law. There's something called law of the flags.
Yeah.
So law of the flags, it's like you actually, wherever you are, like, or whatever flag is being flown, you fall, and you're a citizen of this area. Let's say, well,
You have to
fall
declare
under.
you are one, though, right?
Yeah.
You have to say you're a citizen.
Is that why
So-
people put the flag on in certain places? Like the Americans put the flag on the moon and be like, I'm now a citizen of the moon?
Well, no, it's putting like wherever
Planting
you
a
are,
flag.
wherever flag is there is being flown. Whatever flag is being flown, you fall under the jurisdiction of that flag.
That flag.
So the question that a lot of people have to ask is like, when you go into a courtroom, you might see the Canadian banner flag, but you may see something around it, the yellow fringe flag. Then you got to ask yourself, what does
is
the yellow
this?
fringe
Yeah.
mean when that's around the flag? I'm not going to answer that. You guys do your research if you're interested in knowing. Anyways,
The guy had the shirt.
I see this and I'm like, I gotta talk to him. So you took off and I was like waiting for my moment and he was on his cell phone.
No,
And
I
he
was still there. I didn't leave yet.
You didn't
I was
leave at
just
that point?
chilling. No, I was chilling. You wouldn't talk to him. And then
I remember he was on the phone and he just
was
kind of
on the
kept
phone
pacing
and he
in the
was
same.
walking.
Yeah.
We were both waiting, like standing awkwardly, like
Yeah, yeah.
It was like one of those. Do we go talk to him? Do we not go talk to him? It was like kind of awkward.
And the
like,
guy's probably on the phone. Man, these two guys are.
yeah, these two
scoping me out.
guys. He probably thought we were like
goes,
some CIA
He
people
goes,
or something.
can you just stay on the phone? Just stay on the phone with me, man, because I don't know what's gonna happen with these guys, man. They look pretty big. Both of them are really, really big.
It was interesting. So anyways, I remember
funny, yeah.
at the end of it, I go home and I'm like, I remember calling my sister. I was like, yo, I just saw this guy in the mall. He was wearing
What
a
did you
fez.
guys talk about?
Sorry?
What did you talk about?
Did you end up talking to him?
No, I didn't end up talking to him. He was on the phone the whole time. I looked at him,
And we
tried to
did
make
that
eye
awkward
contact.
thing and then-
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, I'm out. And I remember I talked to my sister on the phone, and some part of me was like, I'm gonna see that guy someday. And at the time, I was also like flabbergasted that I saw this dark-skinned man like with a fez on, and he was flying his own flag. And I'm like, what are the chances of Moors being out here in Edmonton,
yeah.
in Treaty 6 or on Treaty 6 land?
That's the whole thing though too about like the whole manifestation thing too. That's your path, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
once it becomes in part of your awareness,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden it's now in your awareness, and now
Yeah.
it's gonna like line itself up with you, right?
And it lined itself up with me maybe 5 or 6 months later. I can't remember what month that was, but
It was
Cary
in the
West
summer
Festival.
sometime.
Oh, okay, so then maybe less than a month, because now I'm at Cary West Festival, and I'm enjoying myself, listening to some Caribbean style music, and I see this gentleman walking towards me, same
Again.
guy, with a woman. I'm like, oh my gosh! And the funniest thing is he's smiling while like he's walking my
Oh,
way.
he remembered you.
And no.
Oh.
And I'm just like, cause I smiled at him, and then he was just enjoying himself, and he kind of like I caught his eye, and then he's smiling, he's walking, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just told him, I saw you X amount of time ago. I had remembered at the time, saw you in the mall, and I wanted to talk to you, but you were on the phone, And then I said, I gotta ask you a question. And he's like, what's that? And the question I had at the time was, did the Moors sell out Africa to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella? And
That's the Spanish Inquisition?
yeah, so he was like, we'll talk. And then he gave me his business card. And then he asked me a question. And the question he asked me, I was like, I had to think about it. Obviously, every question, you got to think about it. But it provoked deep thought because it had a lot to do with identity. And
he was testing to see how much knowledge he
yeah,
actually knew.
so I went home and I studied, and the answer the question he asked me, I couldn't find it.
What was the
And I was
question?
like,
Do you
yo, this
remember?
guy, did he run me on a loop? And finally, I sat down with it. I'm leave the question.
yeah.
I'm leave the question. So I sat down with it, and I ended up calling him. His business card had his email, phone number, and I was nervous at the time because I had started looking him up on YouTube, and he had a series of videos, bunch of views and stuff. And before living in Edmonton, he was living in what they call Atlanta, Georgia. And I was like, man, at the time I was like, yo, am I worthy to just message this guy, like call him? What do I do? So I ended up calling him, speaking with him, and then he was like, all right, cool. Like, I want you to watch this Weekly Word, this one, and then watch all of them after that. It was probably like 5 days worth, accumulative of video content to watch and information. And on top of that, below it, there'd be links for like
More stuff.
things that I got to read. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So obviously I have this huge binder, and I was doing so much reading anyways. That led me on this. It led me to the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I'm still in
Oh,
the
this
rabbit
isn't
hole
even the
right
rabbit
now.
hole. You're
No,
not even
no.
at it yet.
So,
you're just getting past the gate.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, okay, well, what is a Moor to a Moor? I found out what a Moor was on Wikipedia, what a Moor was to someone who, like, let's say someone of modern European descent who didn't know much more about the Moors than I did.
Than what they
Yeah.
experienced.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Like,
So, and then others, I would find out about the Moors through some friends, some African friends who didn't consider the Moors to be a people or to consider them as someone that was once revered. They were looking at him as someone to hate because
didn't they kind of like discredit them a lot of times, and like the whole thing with like Aladdin and his monkey.
Yeah, well, you'll see that a lot, like the monkey with the thimbles.
Thimbles, like
yeah,
that was
like the get up. Yeah, you'll see a lot of that. And I remember seeing that as a kid, and I was like, man, the get up looks very much the same.
What is the get up?
So the
I
get up
know,
would
it's
be
the little fez, the little
Yeah.
thing.
Best, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the vest. The vest is from what I know, the vest it's a garment. Like they were fly, so to speak. If we were to speak in connotative
Yeah.
terms or whatever, they were fly. They were fashionable. but they were more than that.
More. Hey, here's, I know you did that. I know. Here's a question
But anyways,
for you.
yeah.
Just like not even a tangent, but
Yeah.
this has just popped in my brain. Austin Powers. Do you remember this scene with the very beginning of the guy falls down the cliff?
And he's like, I broke my leg. That was Will
smells like
Ferrell.
almond. Yeah, Will Ferrell. He's got a freaking
Fez,
fez
yeah,
on.
yeah,
That
yeah.
wasn't by accident.
No,
What's
so
the-
well, the thing is, like, I've seen folks with the same complexion wearing fezes. If you go to, like, you can even Google like Freemasons and fez or Shriners.
Shriners and fez, yeah.
But the interesting thing is, they'll have hats that say Islam on it. They'll have hats with symbols from Kemet, from Ecupta or Egypt, misnomer Egypt.
Yeah.
So you look at it and you go like, why are you wearing that? That doesn't make sense.
Why was
Like,
Will Ferrell wearing one? That's wild, actually, if you think about it.
Freemason, like,
You think he's a Mason? Yeah, I don't know. You never know.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can't
we can't
answer
say
that.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I mean? I
answer
can't
that.
answer
That's
that.
not fair.
But
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. Just wild he's wearing it. Anyways, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt.
No,
It
no,
just
no,
popped
no,
in my
not
head.
at
I was
all,
like,
not
yo,
at
that's
all.
crazy.
But I guess where we started with all of this was
Are they,
the
connect,
racial.
are they connected a lot to the pharaohs in Egypt and that side of the game?
That I can't answer.
Yeah.
That I can't answer. Like, there's information out there, but the facts aren't controlled enough for me to give, or at least in my mind,
Yeah.
to give you an answer as to the
Yeah.
connection is a blood connection. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about the pharaohs and such, like for those who believe that they look like the people from Gods of Egypt, like Gerard Butler and like so modern Europeans, like that I think is just
'cause, like, the
that's a
pharaohs-
hardcore
no,
form
the
of
pharaohs-
erasure.
The pharaohs, from what I understand, the pharaohs were actually dark skinned.
Yeah.
Like they were not. They were.
But Hollywood will tell you otherwise, and most
tell
people
you
will.
otherwise, but like they weren't.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like all almost like those are not white Middle Eastern. Like the pharaohs
No.
were like.
Well, you
African.
What do you mean
Yeah.
white Middle Eastern? Where do you have a white Middle
Well, I don't
Eastern?
know what that is.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So let's go to the definitions.
Okay.
Let's address black. It's Black History Month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the caption of this video is Black History
Black
Sham, so we have to touch
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm gonna get.
So yeah, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they'll be
so,
mad. They'll
so
be mad.
black. The definition of black, and I'm not like, we can talk dictionary, and we can talk black as a commercial status, because that's what it is. According to my research, I haven't found anything else other than the fact that it is a commercial status, and you can find this on the. You could just type in Google search NCES, which stands for National Center. National Center for Educational. NCES, National Center Educational Data Statistics.
Well,
Yeah, NCES, and then backslash IPEDS, IPEDS,
What is it?
IPEDS.
P-E-D-S?
So iPads, yeah, and then space, racial or race and ethnicity definitions. I should have just brought links and sent them to you guys, but
That's fine.
Whatever, we're
We'll
here.
put them downstairs
Yeah.
in the comments below.
I can put them in the show notes. Yeah.
Okay.
and click on
Oh,
this one.
sorry, I messed up.
Oh, that's it right there.
Is that right there? Okay.
Yeah.
What am I looking
So
at?
collecting race and ethnicity data from students and staff using new categories. So this is National Center for Education Statistics. So what you're looking, oh, sorry. I was like touching the screen. It's a touch screen?
Some of them are.
So right here, so it's for the different following races, you have American Indian or Alaskan Native,
Yeah.
right? Then you have Asian, and then you have Black or African American.
So when earlier you said, I know what African American is, and I'm like, those two come together, black and African American.
Okay.
Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, and then you have white.
What is white?
So I'll tell you, black is a person. Black is a person. Why am I forgetting this? Person has. I should go to white first. White is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North Africa, the Middle East, or Europe. Black is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. So black is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Now name me a black racial group of Africa.
What do you mean?
Name a black. Do you know any black racial group of Africa?
What do you mean by black though? Like what definition are you going on?
Loophole,
Are you going on like definition of your hat or definition
So
of...
that's exactly it's a loophole.
Yeah.
So you ask yourself, black racial group of Africa. Okay, well let me go to Africa. I didn't have to go to Africa. I went and I asked a friend of mine, who was he came here willingly. He flew over here, and I remember I was with him, and I asked him, I was like, what do you call yourself in Africa? Do you call yourself black? And he's like, no. I'd be watching TV at home, and I'd see you guys over here calling yourself black, and I was just losing my shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm just losing my shit. I asked Mukai the same thing. I asked these young kids who I was hanging out with the other day, the same thing. One came from Botswana, the other one from Nigeria. And he was like, yo, the other day my niece was watching TV, and this woman on the show was like, I'm black and I'm proud, Black History Month. And she was like, Mama, like, why does she keep calling herself black? We're not black, and she looks like me. You know, like, and that's it. Like, you got to ask yourself, like, where did this term black come from? So it's like, are you calling me black because of the complexion of my skin? Well, I'll show you my phone case or my pants. These are black. And these do not look anything like my hue.
I know a buddy who's that dark though.
Well, is he that dark or is he blue black? Like, I know some Sudanese and even some like people from Australia, Aborigines from Australia, indigenous people better from
almost
Australia.
blue black.
And yeah, they have a blue black tone.
It's
They
so
don't have a black
Yeah, no one's
undertone.
black.
It's like a purplish blue undertone if they're very, very black, which they say the term indigo comes from, which was later turned to Indian.
Yeah.
So some people say that they were the originals. So they're the original, you know. So anyway, so I'd be a mutated form.
Yeah, 100%.
Mutated forms of the indigos, yeah. So basically, I looked at the term black, and I'm like, okay, well, kept digging. Like, okay, I went to other people I know from Africa, and I even talked to people I know from Australia who are Aboriginal or indigenous, and I even have a trouble with the word Aboriginal. I'll tell you in a moment, or remind me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's something going on here. So then that kept leading me further. And then I started asking questions to the gentleman I now call Chief Nanya, who's the gentleman,
that
who
we saw in
wearing
the mall,
fez,
yeah.
And I started asking him questions, and he
Chief
said,
Nanya.
have you ever heard of Barack Obama speaking on not being black? And I was like, what? And then he showed me this transcript.
He did.
Which was Barack Obama. So everyone's like, oh, Barack Obama is, for the record, he is black. He's the first black president. Barack Obama was on the Tom Joyner morning show. And they said, hey, guess who we got here? We got a special guest.
The first black
I paraphrase,
president.
first black president.
And he's like,
I'm not black.
yeah.
And you're like, what are you? And
Yeah.
he danced around it. And then they were like trying to get at him. And he was like, black has no standing at law. And it's like, that was met with silence.
That's almost like. It
was met with silence.
That's almost how he climbed the ladder so high.
But it's like, well, the question that I was asking at the time, like, well, if he doesn't
Address black, what is he?
if he doesn't identify with black, then what is he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, then more questions. You know what I mean? And it just head starts spinning. Head starts spinning. Now check this out. Why is it that? Where was this? This was not at the inauguration. I can't remember where, but Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were standing with the United States of America banner behind them with the yellow fringe, and to the left and to the right of them were two Moroccan flags.
I don't remember that.
And then
that's wild.
you can find it if you were to Google it right now, Moroccan flag and Obama and Barack and Michelle. And then you can also Google search Hillary Clinton, Franklin Benjamin room in the White House. Benjamin Franklin room, excuse me.
It's two first names. People have those. Michael Jordan, Michael.
So that's Hillary Clinton in the
Michael Benjamin room.
the Michael Benjamin.
What Michael Benjamin? Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin room. And so you can see this one. Why does she have two Moroccan flags?
Moorish flag on each side.
Yeah. So then you got to start asking yourself
That's
questions.
kinda wild.
You're like, is that American flag? Is that just a banner that represents the Treaty of peace? Excuse me, amity and commerce between Morocco of the West and Morocco of the East?
Okay, you're gonna have to explain for the people what that really means. Or is that too deep?
How about this?
As
I'll just
far
say,
as-
I'll say, to the Moors, this is Africa of the West,
Yeah.
and the Mississippi is the Nile River. This is, in others in Arabic, the Al Maghrib.
Okay.
So the Moroccans had already, or the Moorish Empire had already been installed here, and they already had jurisdiction here. And when the European settlers came over, they had to extend themselves to the Sultan of Morocco
Okay.
to do business over here.
Yeah.
There was a treaty, but just like almost 400 plus treaties, it was dishonored.
Yeah.
So you have the chopping down of the cherry tree, an allegory for them dishonored, getting ready, or basically being on path to dishonor the treaty, already dishonoring the treaty.
So I can almost imagine this.
So they enslaved the Moors, but the Moors slash also known as the indigenous people slash also known as the indigenous Americans, based on the definition, the 1828 definition of American, right? They just tricked as many of the indigenous people, aka Moors, that they were black. They convinced them to call themselves colored people. They convinced them that their history was all about the slave trade. And that's where they come from. Or better yet, they come from Africa, therefore they cannot be descendable to the land that they call America.
America.
So they stole, like they're stealing it.
Yeah.
So it almost sounds like, and I wouldn't doubt this type of shit going on. They come over and say, hey, let's make a deal. Because they have only a few of them. So there's only a few of them, so they get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
They say, hey, let's make a deal. They make a treaty deal so then they can bring
Well, they
over
already
more-
kicked the Moors'
so-
asses in Spain,
so
right?
they can get more of their people over.
Yeah.
And once they have enough of their people over, then they just go and say,
It sounds like you read the story of Treaty 6 line. I read it the other day, and it sounds exactly the same.
it
sounds exactly
it's
the same.
I don't think
what-
Steve read it. I
I
think
didn't read
he
it.
didn't
Yeah.
read it.
I
He
just
just
made
Well,
put two
yeah,
and
the
two
story-
together.
I'm just
Yeah.
putting two and two together. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly how
No,
they
I
did
know,
it.
but it was more of I was kind of jokingly saying that it's like the same thing. Many places where, like, you'll go to many places. Look at the Spanish Inquisition, the Age of Discovery, and we were celebrating Columbus. I was celebrating Columbus Day because I was so drunk on doctrine, on the indoctrination, on
We all
the
do
social
that.
engineering, until one day I was like,
What is this?
oh,
What-
damn.
What actually
Wait a
happened?
minute,
Like,
we're
what the-
we're
yeah.
celebrating a bunch of guys who came over and raped and pillaged and killed all the men and then stole all the women and then basically colonized themselves
Yeah.
into the environment.
Well, it's
which is really what kind of happened.
Yeah.
But a bunch of army guys that show up in boats and they killed all the men and stole and raped and
well,
sort
even
of
it's
village.
crazy because, like, I brought this book up the other day. There's I keep messing up the title. You can look it up if you want. It's called White Cargo, and it's probably like whatever, like $40, $50, $30 or $40 on Amazon. And this book talks about British slavery in the Americas, and how if you were to look for these, if you were to look through the records of slave ships, that you would find that there were quite a few slave ships carrying modern Europeans over to the Americas.
So you're about to say modern European white guys.
No,
you
no,
didn't?
no,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, no. I didn't think the term white.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, white, check this out. For the record, not, I don't just call myself this and then run around and for the record, it says something else, but I am not black. I'm sitting here with a commercial status of white.
Yeah.
So commercially, I am white, and my standing is indigenous, American Indian.
Okay.
So for the record,
That's
this
for the
was done
record.
through statutory declaration.
Yeah.
I announced that, it is published, and that's that.
So
That's that. I understand the definition of white.
Yeah.
People will look at me like persons who call themselves black will look at me and be like, oh man, you're a sellout. This guy's walking around thinking he's white. And it's like, I didn't tell you that my complexion is white. By me telling you I'm indigenous American, I'm telling you that I understand who I am based on the definitions given in
there. Yeah. Going back to the
for
definitions,
National
because
Center.
that's what we're
I don't
talking
know what
about.
white means either. Like,
So white is a
white
person-
to me is just like, this isn't white. Like,
No, because that's not white either. Look at your white socks.
these are like, that's not. I don't know
No.
what that is. So, like,
So white is a person having origins in any of the original people of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. So then my search was, who were the original peoples of North
North
Africa, the Middle East,
Europe.
which at one point was called Northeast Africa, and Europe.
Yeah.
And found stuff from professors from the University of Rutgers or Rutgers University, University of Pennsylvania, PBS, BBC, and most of them were saying, almost all of them were saying, the original peoples of Europe, apart from that finding on the Denisovan that they found in Georgia, which is saying was not a Homo sapien, that they found they found the Grimaldi people, in Italy, and actually in France as well. And these people share the same genetic fibers as the Khoisan people of sub-Saharan Africa. So it's like, okay, I guess they're telling me that the original peoples of Europe are these sub-Saharan Africans that traveled north.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but then I read something else and saying, oh, there was the Neanderthals that they found or the Paleolithic man. But most of them were telling me that, and I printed these things, I printed them all out. And I was like looking for them, looking through them. And then I picked up this book, and this
White
book
Cargo.
by, no, another book.
Oh, another one, yeah.
And it was here this gentleman of European descent, modern European descent, saying that yes, the earliest remains found are of an individual whose phenotype is the same as somebody from Africa. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, according to the definition of white, having basically a person having origins in any of the original people of North Africa, which is Homo.
So Neanderthal. So if you have Neanderthal blood, you basically.
But that's the thing. They tell you it's Neanderthal. They tell you Neanderthal. Do you really know that it's Neanderthal? Like they found them in caves.
Yeah.
So then they called them Neanderthal.
Okay.
These Khoisan people.
Yeah.
But they're Khoisan people in sub-Saharan Africa.
Well, yeah, because
but they're not Neanderthal.
The people from the north
Yeah.
migrated south, and the people from the south migrated north, and they met in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And they basically said, "Oh,"
and there was admixture of people
and
that
they basically just mixed together, and then they all mixed each other up.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of where they got.
That's the thing. Even
blood,
like
the blood was mixed.
so, the last little bit, like the chronology that I used to call truth, like, is kind of getting mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
Because I started studying the gentleman who what's his name? Carlos Linnaeus, and he's the gentleman who basically built the phenotypes. Mm-hmm. And he came up with, African American phenotype, modern European phenotype. He came up with all these different phenotypes. So I started looking at what what his institution has handed down to us in the way of doctrine. And then I also started looking into J. Melville Herkovitz, who J. Melville Herkovitz was the individual responsible for publishing the first out of Africa theory in the fiction section.
Yeah.
Why was it in the fiction section? Now, this individual had a lot of clout. Mm-hmm. As per what I read, this individual had a lot of clout, and what he did was he shared that story with his successors, so to speak, or with his underlings, who also had their fingers in a lot of different pies, and they started sharing that as fact. So this fictional story out of Africa theory turned later to fact. So I then asked myself, like, what the, like, I gotta be that critical thinker again. I gotta gather more information and see what's going on. And it just kind of takes you for a loop. But then I ended up running into what they call the Naturalization Act of 1870. And it describes what a free white person is. And it doesn't just mean a person of a lighter complexion. It actually says the dark-skinned Moors of Spain under free white persons.
It says that?
Yes.
Damn.
So if you look up for those who are interested, read the 1828 definition of an American in the Webster's Dictionary. Look up the Naturalization Act of 1870. And I would suggest you look up the chronology of the Virginia census, I believe, which was later, like, all other places adopted this, or I say all other places, that was pretty vague. But you'll find out some information. The Census Act, where I want to go with that is, I looked at the Census Act, and in 1820, the terms on it they had a few terms on there. Well, two. There was, I believe, slaves And I think I may even have it in my phone. I had to take notes. What's up? What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, no, I'm just trying to figure out where we're at with this story.
Oh.
I know, it's deep. It's deep.
Am I rabbit holing you guys a bit?
No, not in the slightest.
This is a different rabbit hole, man. Like, this is a big rabbit hole.
I'm just thinking, how far do you want to take this on the show?
You could go in a political and legal context.
Well, I guess one of the biggest things I'm wondering is you brought it up to saying that Black History Month is a sham.
Yeah.
A lot of these people out there are like very supporting Black History Month.
Yeah.
So what is the main outside of the fact that now we're saying that black doesn't exist?
Yeah.
It's not
No, black exists. It's a legal term, but it doesn't mean it's lawful. It is like a status that most people are using. It's like I said the other day, it's like walking in with a checkers piece and someone says, let's play chess.
Let's play chess, yeah.
You're walking in with a piece that has no power. It has no legal or political fortification behind it. It actually basically, the denotative is black actually means the origin, the etymology of the word, it means pale, to make pale, to bleach. Mm-hmm. That's actually what black, B-L-A-E-C means. Later turned into
B-L-A-C?
Dark,
okay, dark,
angry.
Noir.
Yeah, a bunch of things and a lot of them negative.
Yeah.
So part of me feels like if there's ever going to be an attack, you don't attack person in one direction, art of war. You're going to attack them from various angles. So you don't just attack person in the material realm, you attack them in the spiritual realm as well. You attack them everywhere else. Yeah. And a lot of these ancient mystic teachings, you talk about esoteric science and stuff, it's the same thing. Like, it's not just a material realm. There's the elemental plane. There's all these other planes. So I think having the term black and then turning it into what it is now, it sounds crazy, but it's almost like a spell.
Spelling, words.
Yeah. So it's like a spell. You get people to announce that, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. Just like we say law of attraction. You're getting people, it's like entrapment. You're encouraging them to kill themselves sooner.
And that's the Sun Tzu, hit them from the other angle.
Yes. So it's
there's
like...
There's a lot of, like...
But a lot of people don't, like, they'll hear it. Some people, how about this? I shouldn't say a lot of people, because then that's me putting it out in the universe. Yeah. People hear this. People hear this.
Yeah.
And for the people who don't, you'll hear it. It's just, you have to be, it's like, I encourage, having an open mind, yeah.
Well, it's like there's spells out there. Like, you can pick up a lot of these spells that kind of going on. People, you're...
Yeah.
I'm like, no, if you really pay attention, you really start to and you really start putting...
But that's the thing, you're asking people to be what? Conscious. To pay attention, you need to be conscious.
Yeah.
And what happens when you're not conscious? You're unconscious.
Yeah.
So then, if you think about it, I remember reading this chart that talked about how most people's reality, their perception of reality is based, and it was like 10% conscious.
That's weird.
And then subconscious and conscious and unconscious. And you're like, holy crap, how many people are on autopilot on Instagram going, yo, conscious and woke? Are you really?
Those people drive me nuts.
Are
I
you
can't
really?
handle it.
Like,
No, I can't handle it.
Cameron and I were talking about this, and like you talked about the etymology and stuff like that. We were like looking at it, we start really breaking down the words, and we're like, holy shit. Like, we're dropping spells.
Like morning, wake, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, week. Weekend.
Like breakfast.
Yeah,
we're breaking fast. Like,
Yeah.
we're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, all these weird little, like...
But the thing is this, you get an etymology dictionary. Go to the library. You can get it at the library.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Man,
or you can get it on Amazon. I would suggest that everybody watching, listening, get yourself an old dictionary, get yourself an Oxford dictionary, get yourself an etymology dictionary, and go online, or better yet, you can even go online if you don't want to spend the money, and just go etymologydictionary.com. Mind you want to get an older version. Some of these new versions and a lot of the stuff on the internet is like
murky.
Infiltrated, yeah.
It's infiltrated and it's gray and muddy and it's like...
Yeah, so it's like, get yourself something that you can...
I realize that with the Bible, when I'm going through the Bible, I'm even in the New King James Version, I'm like, this thing's been modified.
Yeah.
I'm like, I almost have to learn Hebrew.
Well, that's the thing. Well, check this out. At some point, that's the thing. I was saying this the other day. Someone asked me about black in its, like, when we're talking, it is a color. And I'm like, okay, well, now you got to let's look at the etymology. Let's look at the origins of the word. Let's look at the time. And black is a term that's like 500 years old. Mm-hmm. So it's like, he was like, oh, our people, our ancients were calling themselves black if you look at this or that. And I go, says who? And I go, says who? He's like, oh, it says. I'm like, ask yourself, who translated this? Somebody else. What language are we speaking mostly? We're speaking English. So they translated, they use an English word.
Yeah.
And now you're applying it historically?
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
No.
But then
Because
you
it
ask
changes.
yourself about the word God, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. So, saw that.
You saw that?
I saw that. Yeah, I
You
kept
know what's-
looking.
you know
I was
what's
looking over there numbers so many times. I actually think when I first sat down, and I was
You're
like,
like, oh fuck.
okay, and I saw the arrows, and I tried to look. I was like, okay, there's a heart over here. I was like,
The heart's
yeah.
for Stevie's photography. That's
No.
not. But
I was trying to put it together. I'm like, okay, these guys are like, okay, love, yeah, that works.
I
dig
get that's
message.
dope. Yeah, no.
But
With the heart,
anyways,
you're like, yeah, God's love.
I don't know if the people here see it. But,
No, they
well,
do. That's
They do,
every.
they see
Every.
it on the
I don't know if they do. We've never told them. But like
okay.
every episode, there's something different on there. Like little. What are they called? Easter eggs. Little nuggets.
little nuggets.
Take people down rabbit holes.
Star or Easter?
Oh, jeez, that's deep.
So anyways,
No, that's deep. Okay, yeah. I got
So-
some questions still. But yeah, keep going.
so
No. I think. Sorry. I think right now a lot of this shit might be like.
shit. So well, sorry for people. Sorry.
People can start learning.
Yeah. So
I
I
got
kind of gave
questions.
people
I got
some
questions in my
dips.
head.
So going to NCES/iPads, looking up race and ethnicity definitions, you'll also see that it's. Oh, actually, just read it. Be sure to read the preamble because it lets you know what these definitions or designations or categories are about. That they do not denote. What is it? The definitions do not denote scientific anthropological origins. So you have to really meditate on that. Anyways, look that up, the 1820 definition of American, the Naturalization Act of 1870, look up Census Act. If you want, you could even look up what was nasty, the Racial Integrity Act that happened in Virginia, where that was, they say, responsible for the burning of or the destruction of a lot of content that showed that the black people, previous to that, colored people, Negro people, previous to that, the indigenous Americans, that information, a lot of that information was scrambled, distorted, whatever, tossed out.
Gone, see you later, buried.
Yeah, so I have the individual's name who's responsible for that. I keep forgetting his name.
So-
there's so much shit to remember.
Why are people looking this up? Like why are they looking all this information up?
Well, I'll say I think
Hold
the
on.
people who would want to look it up, or the people who consider themselves black, first I think they might be the first ones who want to look that up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people on this side, like my African friends, they know where they come from. Like a lot of them are like first generation, Canadians.
joke when they come
And
over
yeah,
here,
they come
like,
over here and they're like,
what?
dang man, you guys are like kind of lost. Like
Yeah.
our brothers and sisters from the other side, who were described in the, anyway. I was just started thinking about something that I must mention to you guys, and it's the mayor of Chicago, December of 2011. Was it December 2011? The mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, a gentleman from Israel, he made a proclamation at his desk, and with the seal on it and everything, and it actually tells you the story of the quote unquote black people being the indigenous Americans / Moors. So he announced that in Chicago for a week in June, that they call it the Moorish American. It's the Moorish American Week.
Yeah. Okay. So we haven't even.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think I just needed to put that out there because I feel like I was gonna forget that.
Yeah.
But why people are gonna look this up? So you stop calling yourself black, and if you don't call yourself black, and let's say you call yourself white, to find out that you've been lied to as well. Like white, if someone who's of a darker complexion than you, such as myself, walks up and says, "Hey, we're both white," by commercial status, that you don't laugh at them and go, "Oh my God, that's impossible. This person can't be white." Yes, they can because it's commercial status.
Like literally when they ask that status on a thing, you just
Yeah.
literally write white.
Yeah. When census comes to my door and they don't ask me that question, and I'm like, "Excuse me, you asked me my income bracket, you asked me this, and that."
You didn't ask me.
You didn't ask. Oh, but it's because I know already. You're like, do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what I am. And then she goes, "Oh, you're
You probably
you're
confuse
black
the
African
shit out of
American."
them. Holy shit.
And I'm like, okay.
They probably look at you with
no.
this.
No.
It's like, well, why not? Give me 1 second. I don't want to just tell you, just in case you think I'm lying, because we don't know each other. I'm going to share with you these definitions. Here's the sheet of paper. Read that. Okay, what is that? I remember the first time I was like, what does that entail? Like, it says Middle East, Europe, or North Africa. It's like, yeah, they're coupling them. Do you know who the original people are of these said areas? Well, not really. Okay, well, look into that. Now, what's troubling me is the fact that you're considered a professional, going around to everyone's doors and and classifying them in the caste system that's color coded. But you don't know who the original peoples of North Africa are. You don't know the definition of white. You don't know the definition of black / African American. You don't even know if there's any black racial groups of Africa. I still don't know that.
They're
I
too
have
low
not-
down the totem pole.
But then why would they have that job?
Yeah, I know. That's
Why
I
are you
know.
giving them that job?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, once they sign that, it's published.
It's published. Yeah, no, that's not good. You want
Yeah.
and stuff like that too.
Yeah, they're like
Those-
old ladies
they're
who are
old
like
people
60 who
volunteers.
need
They
something.
Yeah,
to do.
regardless of who they are,
I
they
know.
should know better, but
Yeah.
they don't.
They
No,
don't
they
teach
don't.
them. They don't
They
want
don't.
them to know
They don't want them
that.
to
They
know
want
that,
people
no.
that stuff.
But it's sad. But now the thing is, sometimes people go, oh, like I know some folks who are like they're angry with modern Europeans. Oh fuck, man, white people, they did this to me, did that. You know, slavery, all this stuff. And it's like, pick a better opponent. That's what I say to a lot of people. Pick a better opponent. What do you mean by that? Yo, white people fucked up.
I'm
like,
sure a
da-da-da.
lot of guys come
And I
up to you
go,
with that sort of stigma, and they're like, "Yeah, let's band together and fuck these white guys."
Yeah.
Do a lot of
And-
people do that to you?
Not a lot. I've had people who like come out and but they're angry.
Yeah.
Like they're just they're angry. Period.
Yeah.
Angry period.
So
yeah.
I see that. I don't like. I've yet to meet someone who has like. Well, I meet people with rational mind who never say that.
Yeah.
But I meet some people who are very emotional and it overrides the logic, and they say that. And I can comprehend. I can comprehend your like you have anger and you're just trying to put direction to it.
Yeah.
So you just put it in a direction that you feel or where you feel it should go based on the education that you have.
Yeah,
And I'm like, if
exactly.
you haven't looked up this stuff, I can see why you would think you point that finger.
But this is
But I think it's a plan that the individual, the perpetrators, use the pawns, and now it's pawn versus pawn,
Pawn
white pawn
against
versus
the-
black
they're
pawn
against each other,
But
massive.
really, the royalty is standing
the
behind,
outside, yeah.
and they're
Oof.
just watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, should I be a martyr by sharing this information and getting in people's faces and talking about it and having them not spit at me, but figuratively spit at me and laugh at me or
Scoff.
ridicule me? Yeah. Or do I just keep it to myself? I go
Both
back and
sides,
forth,
yeah, I
and then
know.
lately I've just been like,
Fuck it.
man, fuck it. I'm about to share some shit. I love everybody within reason.
Yep.
Like if somebody's like, I'm trying to kill you, fuck you. I don't ride with you. I may not try and kill you. Maybe I will, like
Yeah, I know what you're
with
saying.
my words.
But this is
But-
what I kind of and this is correct me if I'm wrong on
Yeah.
this, but this is just my personal how I kind of feel. It's like if I let Cameron control my emotions, Cameron has
Wins.
power over me.
Yeah.
So what happens is that like if I say Cameron is the fault and Cameron is the reason that I'm
You
he's
still
got
have the
power
control,
over me.
Yeah.
I'm giving him my power.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would I give him a power? I'm like
Like when
you
people
don't-
say money is my happiness, money makes the world go round. You're like, idol worship. You just got, like you just gave that, you just handed it over to this shit that's not even alive.
It's not even real, man. I'm just like shit, man. Like no, I'm just like nobody has power over me. I control myself. Like
Yeah.
I do whatever I do.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay.
Philema
Can-
law,
can
do
you-
what thou will.
Do as thou wilt. That's Baphomet stuff. That's doest thou wilt.
That's a Philema law.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
But yeah, Baphomet, where people look at Baphomet and they're like, oh man, Illuminati, crazy shit, like evil, devilish projection. My feelings and thought coming from my education is that's projection. And what I mean by projection, I'll describe it as this. You have something that is, and it birthed a nation.
Birthed. We got to go into that a little bit. No, dude, yeah, keep going. No. No, you're just dropping.
No, this shit gets shut down next week.
we gotta get fucking Alex Jones tier before we even start, man.
Oh man.
Okay, anyways, yeah, keep going.
Okay, how about
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
I'll put it this way. Like,
Can we go into law of the high water, law of the lands?
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because that's where you're
talking
going.
like admiralty, maritime law,
Yeah, but the way the words used with certain things. Okay, so
like ships, relationships.
relationship.
And
Yeah. Birth. She sat in her
Yeah,
birth.
yeah.
Woman's birth. All sorts of stuff. Anyways, I'm more so
even
touching on.
more. More is also like a docking.
Yeah, the docking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You went over everybody's head on this shit, man.
Shit.
Well, I'm saying, well,
They
that's
don't know
just.
what you're talking about.
I know that's
do.
a that's
I do.
that's why I'm.
I've heard the story before, but I'm just like.
That's why I'm just trying to take it back a little bit. So we're talking about Moors.
Should have wrote
And
notes.
Yeah, I know.
Wrote notes.
I know. I know it's so crazy, right? That's the problem. Well, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of people actually mocking it. But for the simple fact that
Well, they want you to mock it.
No,
because
no,
the
no,
guys-
no, no,
the
no.
guys- no. But the guys at the top don't want you to know.
I know, but it's a little bit disorganized to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like the information's not well out there. It's weird little random website. And you got to piece a lot of stuff together, right?
Yeah.
And it's very niche, very underground. But what I was saying is we've talked about Moors. So let's maybe get a definition of what a Moor is or a Moorish person, just for the people, right? And where did they come from? Because if you want to go on that, like
Moors are everywhere.
Yeah.
They like.
So is there a definition of a Moor? So I learned about
There's
this.
Morenos. There's Moors.
Morenos.
Yeah.
I know the Morenos.
Yeah.
In Chile, man, Moreno.
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 There's,
Yeah.
There's Maroons in Jamaica. Like all of these terms, like
And,
they pretty much refer to the indigenous people of the land.
and is that
So-
from Morocco?
It's all over.
Okay, yeah.
So,
all right.
like the Dravidians of India to the
Yeah, but
Negritos of the
but
Philippines.
that empire grew from somewhere.
Yeah.
We
right?
talk
That
about
empire, we're talking about the
It's
Moorish
they
empire,
so
which
An
is-
it's
accent?
Afro-Asiatic.
okay.
Afro-Asiatic. So what we call Asia today,
Yeah.
and Africa. So that's the region.
Was it all one
And they
place? at one point?
circumnavigated, and they circumnavigated the globe.
Okay.
So before the modern European even existed. So when people talk slave trade, it's like you like laugh a bit and you're like, okay, have you ever heard of the theory, the transatlantic slave trade? Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of Africa or America pre-colonial era and what the people looked like?
Does this have anything
And-
to do with the Israelis as well? being slaves?
I don't like to talk about this. yeah,
see,
that
that's what I'm
gets a lot of
saying,
people in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. How far
How about this?
do we
Well,
go? How far do we go?
Yeah, well, you want to talk the indigenous people of Israel. Are they the people who are there now? I'll ask you the same question about Egypt.
That's a heavy question.
Like, we know that North Africa was Arabized. Like, you could,
It's mixed. It's mixed.
Yeah.
Ethiopians were kicking around.
The Middle East is
Yeah.
a mixture of all the different.
yeah, but
all
it's
the
like,
different
are they imports? Like, look at what's his name? The former president of Egypt, Gamil. If you look it up, he said something about Israel. He said he will not support Israel in their war against Palestine, and he said something about the people. He said, "You guys left black and came back white."
Jeez.
Yeah.
Even Israel.
Yeah, and then Hitler crazy enough, Hitler also had something to say about that too.
Yeah.
He said, if the people really knew who the real Jews were and what you have done to these people, that you will be disgraced. If you knew what you had done to the real Jews of Israel. And even the word Jews, like J didn't even exist until after the 15th century. So what?
Greek, right?
So then, what were the Jews?
And you mean J as in
Yeah.
the letter J?
Yeah.
Was-
The letter
was
J.
never existed, right? Like that was created in
So I've been educated that the term was Ibri.
with a what?
Which would be
Ibri,
Hebrew.
Yeah. So Hebrew, thank you. So I don't know. I'm still digging in that rabbit
a
hole
lot.
right
Yeah,
now.
see, that's what I'm saying. There's lots of little rabbit holes.
Yeah,
Like,
there's-
like-
well, the thing is, when I
the
started
thing
studying
know is that
law-
we've been lied to through like there's so many like the more
Yeah.
you dig, you're just like whoa.
The
man,
more,
like,
the
there's
more you
so-
do.
So it's like, and I realized like you can't separate history and law.
Yeah.
You can't separate law from history. And you can't separate so many other components. Like now we lead into the principle of correspondence. That's like number 2, I believe, in the Kabbalion or the Hermetic
Kabbalah?
principles.
Yeah.
The 7 Hermetic principles, which the author is now, it says Hermes Trismegistus. It's like Hermes. I thought it was Tahuti. So that's like I look at that and I see the erasure, Tahuti, Thoth. That's a Kemetic principle of Kamat that was later basically, we'll say, wow, I'm forgetting the word, transcribed into another language, and then they claim it as their own.
Yeah.
You know, and then you ask yourself, like, why'd you burn the books in Alexandria? What were you really doing?
Yeah. What's going on there?
Did you get the books and change
the language.
And then
change
got
the
rid of them.
language
It's like, fuck
and then burn them?
It's like
That's the best form of erasure to me. Like plagiarism on point.
Yeah.
Just like the Fez and the current day Shriners, the Freemasons. Like
just rewrite your work and be
like it's the
"Shit,
same
it didn't
thing.
exist, show it to
The
me."
principle of masonry, it's ma son, mother son. And they focused on the matriarch in the earliest. Now it's a fraternity and it's women aren't allowed. It's like
They have one for women, but it's not
Yeah.
masonry. It's a different one.
so it's like
Different appendant body.
yeah. So it's like
Yeah, there's definitely many rabbit holes to go down on that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Moors. So can we get in touch on the subject of being a sovereign citizen? Because that's pretty much all this is. I'm not saying how to do it or anything, or is that
Yeah.
anything you want to go down, or is that
you can talk
Yeah.
to Dean Clifford about that guy in Winnipeg.
Dean Clifford? Oh, that guy. Yeah. That
guys
guy's
should
living
get him
in the
on the show.
bushes, right?
I still kind of want to bring it back to
And he
like,
owns like 7 properties, owns
Oh,
a
he's got a
construction
business.
company,
Yeah,
he
he's
has
got
a business.
construction business. Yeah.
He owns 7 homes with no credit.
Yeah. And
Look that up, y'all. How do you do that? No equity. What is that? Low equity loaners.
yeah.
And guy's smart, man. Like a lot of people think that the only way to win in this game is to go through the bank and pay your taxes and stuff like that.
There's
It's
other
like,
ways to do it.
There's other ways to do it, and
Legally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lawfully.
Lawfully, yeah, there you
lawfully. Difference, but
You got to be very careful. with your
sovereign.
words.
There's a route for that. Some have to claim sovereignty. What I understand, what I overstand, is you have to claim nationality.
Mm-hmm.
You have to claim a nationality. Most of us we think our nationalities were Canadian or we're United Statesian, should be the real term.
Yeah.
It's the United States of America.
Corporation.
It's like if you're Mexican, if you're from Mexico, you're Mexican. If you're
They're
Canadian,
American.
you're Canadian. If you're,
They're all American.
yeah, but then if you're from the United States, they say American, but America's the continent.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, so
Weird.
you should get a United Statesian from that. But
That makes the most sense.
yeah, but the thing is this: Canada is a federal corporation,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty certain who is it registered with? It's registered with the U.S. Secretaries and Commissions Office.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Are we owned by them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's,
So then we're a
that's how
federal
deep-
corporation. So
deep
how
do
are
you wanna
we a
go down?
country? How are we a country?
We're not really. It's a business. What do you think GNP is? GDP. That's pretty much how much money is this business making us.
So exactly. So
Holy shit.
we were just talking about the GDPs from each province the other day, and I started thinking in terms of that. I was like, that's
Just think in
interesting
terms of
that-
business. Yeah.
So think in terms of commerce.
Yeah, that's all.
Right,
It is.
so it's all
Commerce, and then we
contract
go
and
back
commerce.
about the commerce.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
If I'm part of a business, should I get a severance pay?
Well,
Technically, you can.
Yeah.
What's that?
You can.
Like,
Technically,
I
you
should-
can, but I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Okay, I want to go back to. I want to go. Back,
like where are we going?
I wanna go back
There's a
to-
lot of backs.
Well, the
I
thing
feel like
is-
I didn't even know if I answered your question.
well,
You
we
didn't even
wanna
answer
go
your
down that
question.
road. We didn't want to go down.
Okay.
that
We didn't. Yeah. You kind of gave me the look like
Right.
fuck.
So
Kill.
what we want to talk about, though, we want to bring it back to because it's Black History Month. So like, basically,
is?
you're telling a lot of people that are celebrating Black History Month, like, what are they supposed to do?
Celebrate, but
What is it?
change the narrative. Like change the words you use. It's not connotative. Like don't live in the world of connotative linguistics. Oh, yo, I'm black, or yo, I'm fly as a motherfucker right now. Like if you want to talk to somebody like that, cool, but you better get on the denotative. Like start studying semantics, the language you're using, syntax and semantics. My chief Nanya always says syntax and semantics. Get on top of it. Like if you don't know how to dialogue, like in a world that is based around administration, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're completely
Because then you're
off.
giving
completely
on-the-spot
off.
trust. You're saying, yes, I'm a part of this jurisdiction. You got to watch the language that you use. So people are walking around saying I'm black, and I go, what does that mean? Yo, well, I'm black because Martin Luther King was and Malcolm X was. What if they were confused too? What if they were assassinated because they found out they weren't black?
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know much about like Martin Luther King and I mean, I've heard the
They
stories.
didn't like each other.
But
They like each other?
No.
But towards the end, there was a kind of a meeting in the middle, so to speak, with regards to the way they were functioning, the way they were moving.
Yeah.
Because they were moving two different.
Yeah.
Two
They were
different
moving
But
in the same
towards
direction
the
two
end,
different ways.
Martin Luther King, people are like, oh, Martin Luther King, he was great, and he gets the pat on the back, like not like figuratively, and I think that happens because he was the guy who said like he was the nonviolent protester,
Malcolm
so to
X
speak.
was
He was the
the-
guy who's like, let's mobilize, let's march, no violence. But that dude who said, I have a dream, and everyone remembers that, he later said, my dream has turned into a nightmare. I feel like I set my people into a burning blaze.
He did say that.
Why do you think he said that? And why does no one talk about that? What do you think he meant by that? That's the questions people, these misnomer black people, have to start asking themselves. Why did he also say that the Negro is in exile on his own land? He wasn't talking about Africa. So if the Negro is in exile on his own land, and you think you came over here on a slave ship because of the modern European, like you gotta ask yourself questions. The information is out there. Yes, a lot may have been destroyed, but there are quite a few answers that you can find in texts that scholars have written. But the thing is, they say the best way to hide information from black people is put it in a book because they won't read. And that's sad because some part it's true. Black people, my African friends will get into that knowledge. Mukai gets into that knowledge, I know it. But some of I have family who, they're just like, what?
Yo, just
I was like, what? 4 years ago, you know? So I think like we've all been lied to. And I think there are certain people who might have more vested interest because those who say, I want reparations. The reparations is in finding out who the fuck you actually are. And when you do that, then you might be interested in changing your commercial status to a status that has legal backing.
You're asking a lot of people. Most people don't even know who the fuck they are. Can even like function in society
Yeah,
on their own. Just
then-
don't even know who they actually like
Yeah.
are as a person, yet alone like. What
Well, I know
what
my
their-
dad's side
what
of
their
family is
history
Cherokee. So I know that the original name for Trinidad is where both my mother and father are from is Kyrie. They're not from Trinidad, they're from Kyrie, which was named by the Carib Indians, the Kalinagos, the Arawaks, and it meant land of the hummingbird, which is our national bird, the ISIS bird. ISIS.
ISIS. Yeah,
Right, but the Spanish came over and they're like, oh, I see 3 mountains. It looks like the Trinidad, which is Trinity in Spanish. And it's like, okay. It already had a name, by the way. Shut the fuck up. This is what it is.
all of them are like
You know what I mean? Social engineering. Take it.
Yeah,
Take it.
that's crazy. They
No,
all
the-
have their names.
Yeah, like
changed.
I posted it on
Everything's named-
Facebook not too long ago. Like a bunch of the names for the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
Jamaica and stuff like that. Hispaniola, like the original name. So you could look into that. Like look into this would mind fuck you. Look up Martin, a German guy, a map maker. First map maker, I believe, in 1507, or the first map that had the word America on it, and I think Africa as well. And that was a map made by a gentleman named Martin Waldseemüller, Waldseemüller.
Waldseemüller, yeah, that's Waldseemüller.
And then who's the other gentleman? Mercator, the Mercator map. Look what they say about look what scholars have been saying about the Mercator map right now. They're saying that map is fucked up.
Is that the one with all
That
the...
it does not match up with the square miles of these countries. They say South America is like 10 times the size of Europe.
of what it is? Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah,
our
it's
east,
like
west, north, and south
it
may
is.
actually be fucked up as well.
They did that. Like that's why Europe is like the center of the map, and then they make South.
All
They
these
say
all
they
small.
say that the creations of these maps did not come without an ethnical bias.
Yeah.
So they
You're
had to
saying
say
the
what is
white
what
ones
is
are
better
bigger,
is on top.
Is on top, yeah.
And what is below considered the inferior ones, and they're smaller. They're saying Africa we can't even fathom the size of Africa. But they say that that South America is a lot larger than everywhere else. Yeah.
It's 3 times the size as the
Yeah.
globe. Like,
So it's like
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just in there, and I'm just thinking, I said, is it? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how long did it take to drive? Like, is it that big? Like, actually, how would you even know when you're
square miles. Well, people on land.
No, I'm saying like when you're driving
Oh.
somewhere, how do you know you're actually going to the place that you're going? Like,
Roadways have maps.
I guess, yeah, but I'm like, they could just, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, how do you?
Oh, okay. How did someone figure out?
Yeah, how did
Yeah.
someone figure that
That's
shit
the
out back
photography
in the
guys,
day?
Basically, like they just measure off the distances and stuff like that as they're marking shit on a map.
Yeah, but how do we know that's right? Like you said, like if South America's triple the size, it's just like, how do we know it's?
How do you account for that then? Like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just super wild. Like you're saying, like how do we know north is actually north? Like, I don't know. It's just wild. Like the whole thing could be the other side around. It could be flipped up. We don't know.
Well, we know it as it is because that's our training.
Yeah.
Most of what we know is because of our training. Just like the English language. Say you experience your reality based on the language that you know.
Yeah.
Well, I always use this example, but I see a bird flying, or a type of bird. I'm like, it's a sparrow. That's a blue jay. That's a
Someone else thinks it's something
that's
else.
someone else's train. That's my training.
What is
Because
that?
what is it?
What is
And
it?
imagine
What
that
is
bird
it?
looked at me and was like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm not a bluebird."
I'm
You know
not-
what I mean? It's like I would like
What is
I
that?
couldn't.
You
say
wouldn't
it.
know.
Yeah.
What is it? It's just a representation.
Yeah.
Like it's a representation of what you see in people that.
And then what you know.
And then what you
Based on
know.
your language. But it's like how
How far does
cool-
that go? Or
Yeah, but how cool would that be if you were illiterate? How would you experience reality?
oh,
You know what I mean?
geez, wow.
Maybe not in a metro, like
I
in
know
a,
what
in
you're
a
saying,
big
but like in a-
metropolitan city.
Yeah.
But like if you were out in whatever, like how would you? They say Yeshua, Jesus, whatever was illiterate. They say Buddha was illiterate. I wonder if that was the reason why these motherfuckers were so enlightened.
No,
I
you're
don't
right,
know.
because if you have the training of certain words,
Yeah.
you could make
You're
all
now.
the-
I'm living somebody else's
you're
reality.
living
Partly.
someone else's shit.
So the other thing is too is like I've been listening to a lot of like quantum physicists, right?
By the way, I'm not high, and I don't think you guys are. Some people might be like, "This guy's on some quantum shit." I
So,
feel like they're high.
I listen to some quantum physicists, right? And I'm trying to learn their language because the way that they speak is a completely different way. But another thing is they talk about
Neil
language.
deGrasse Tyson.
The actual like if you look at mathematics, geometry is actually like the true language because when you look at a square, it represents a square. A triangle represents a triangle, and all these different shapes.
Speaking of shapes,
represent exactly what it is. So when you look at things in a geometric shapes and geometric stuff, that's the actual language
Yeah.
of the universe is the geometric
Yeah,
shapes, right?
yeah.
So it's like that's a true language.
there are many scholars that make that very same declaration.
Yeah. Speaking of what were you
Oh no! Speaking of shapes, when you said like square, and I was just thinking of like a particular language. People will say, "Are you on the square?" and they mean something.
Yeah.
Or
You see, the squares on the floor.
well,
You're on your
well,
square.
Masons.
Yeah, Mason. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
I know that's
yeah.
the symbolism on the floor. You're on your square.
Yeah, so being on your square, but then being in the circle. Do you know that church? The etymology of the word church is circle.
Circle.
So people will go to the circle and it takes them away from the square because they'll go to church for dogma.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have those who go to the square are studying something deeper than that.
Jeez. I went to square for a while.
So, yeah, I know.
That's wild.
Steve
hates it. Steve hates it.
So, but then you look at
I'm not on my square right
I
now.
don't want
But
you
then-
guys on the square, man. That square shit is scary, man, because it's a complete. You put yourself in direct opposition to the circle.
This is over everyone.
But
You put
But
yourself in direct.
why do you
opposition.
want? But I think the circle is considered. The circle apparently goes to the people. It goes to the 1,000-headed ass system. So all the people, you have the 1%, and then you have the rest, and the rest get served. The rest get called the 1,000-headed ass. The ones who can't understand, can't understand, can't overstand deeper concepts, can read a Bible but can't see the allegory, can't see the mathematics,
well, you can't
can't see the
because it's so
cosmology. There's cosmology.
Cosmology.
Yeah.
Is it
yes.
cosmology?
No, it's cosmogony.
Cosmogony.
Yeah, the cosmogony. They can't see all of there's more information there,
Yeah.
but they can't see it because something's wrong. Like they are what in legal terms would be not legal terms, but they would be the invalid. They would be the individual who is not fit to present themselves, but need representation. They need a spokesperson. They need a deity. They need someone, and they need to worship someone else instead of learning or knowing thyself.
Yeah.
Spending I hate to say spending working within. You know, they get the workshop of the mind. That's what the Masons call when you hear the word worship, they look at it, as far as I'm concerned, as a working shop of the mind. Yeah.
A workshop of the mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That comes from. Have you ever read Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something called the Devil's Workshop there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that book was wild.
And the
because
Devil's Tone.
The Devil's
For
Tone.
40 years.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, the Devil's Workshop. It's crazy, but that's a full-on chapter in that book. Crazy thing about that book is that book was it's probably revered as one of the Bible, I would say, of kind of like modern day self-development books.
Yeah.
But the wild thing about that book is so Napoleon Hill goes up to Dale Carnegie or Andrew Carnegie, I can't remember. But anyways, he starts working with this guy, and he's like, "Yo, I'm going to create this manifesto of all of these people." Who are wealthy in the world, and I want to figure out. I was just looking up cosmology. There's a book on it.
Yeah.
But anyways, synthetic cosmology, I believe. But anyway, so he goes up.
Cosmology.
Yeah, cosmology. So he goes up to all these people, and he's like, I'm gonna try and build a manifesto of the 25 richest people on the planet. Anyways, Henry Ford was like, no, you're not gonna do that. But crazy thing is. Yeah, he's like, you're not releasing this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a book that came out called Law of Success in 16 Lessons, and it's this massive, I have both of them, they're these huge fucking books that are just like Think and Grow Rich on steroids, right? And then after that got pulled from the shelves, and then a watered down version of Think and Grow Rich came out, and then after that, the
little green book now.
The watered one comes out. No, the green one's the older one of the older versions. But there's like a Bible type book where it's in black leather.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure if you can still get it, but it's like I know I met Bob Proctor one time, and he had that book, and he's read that book like 1,000 times, and he had it, and it was like all torn to shreds. But he reads that book like how you'd read a Bible, but he pulls things out. He's like, holy shit! Like every time I read that book, it's a new book from things I learned from etymology. I'm like, wow, this means that. It's pretty crazy. So if you look at my Think and Grow Rich book, it's like insanely all.
You have an etymology dictionary?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, we're just using. I got
Etymology
I got a book here. I have my dictionaries, and everyone makes fun of me for them, but I have them on my desk. They're like, why do you still have dictionaries? I was like, don't worry about it. But anyway, so no, Henry.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, it's that fine balance of telling people things and not.
Yeah.
But it's Anyways,
it's like me on the show. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, get out of here. No. But so anyways, Henry Ford was like, yo, you're not doing that thing. And anyways, Napoleon Hill, they say he needed to go out in the woods in like Idaho or something like that and meditate. Yeah. But he was really like in hiding in the woods.
Yeah.
Like he was in hiding because he was fearing for his life.
Yeah.
Because he was releasing stuff like the Devil's Workshop.
Yeah.
But he wrote a book out there called Talking with the Devil. And it's a whole thing about him having conversations with the devil. And a lot of these people think it's like, oh, he went crazy out there. Because he thought he was so stressed out that he went crazy. But no, he was in hiding from all these elite type people trying to kill him. And he wrote this one book, Talking with the Devil. And it's a wild book.
I wonder why he would actually do that, knowing that would be
I have no
consequence.
Idea. Yeah, it's like memoirs of his journals with Talking with the Devil out there in the middle of the woods. He left.
Didn't King James also author a book about the devil?
I don't know. Did he?
Look it up.
Yeah?
Look up, so there's King James Bible, 1611, and the other editions, but then he also wrote a book about the devil.
Did he?
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you know?
Look it up.
I'm looking it up, eh? That constant balance, isn't it? Isn't it there? Isn't it there? Othieno.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to think, where should we go? Because I just thought King James, and then I thought about the King James version of the Bible, and then I thought about the Queen swearing an oath, she swore an oath on the King James version of the Bible.
King James version, yeah, that's wild.
And then I just started thinking about that. I'm like, okay, well then all courthouses would have a King James Bible, I believe, so that people can
swear
do
an
the
oath
same
on
thing.
it?
Yeah,
Didn't someone recently just swear an oath on the actual legal Bible?
It was a woman did that.
Like a woman said, no, I'm not swearing an oath on the King James Bible.
Yeah.
Right? And then
Or
I'm
it's like,
swearing an oath to the actual legal Bible.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's on some stuff, but it's like,
I know.
Like, do you know what is the? Does anybody know what the bar stands for?
Oh, passing the bar? I don't.
No.
know.
Like it's acronyms for.
BAR?
Yeah, British. Oh man, wow, I have this written down. I should know this.
Amphibian reptile.
British
Accredited Agency. Yes.
Regency.
What is it
Regency.
called? British
Accreditation Regency.
Regency. Sorry,
Accredited
why did I say agency?
So you have to pass the British
Yeah.
Accreditation.
Regency. So you need to get accreditation from Britain in order to study law in the States and in Canada.
So isn't that a foreign?
Power
Yeah.
does not go against the Constitution, does it? It does, doesn't it?
But you are not backed by the Constitution if you are a citizen.
Yeah, if you are, if you're not yeah, I get
Citizen.
you.
If you're
of the
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
there's United States citizen, but then there's a citizen of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Those people are United States citizens, for
Yeah.
example. So there's like, from what I understand is there was, it was like, it's like already having something here on the desk, and then what I do, and I have people who realize the phone is there, and then what I do is this. There's no phone, but there's a water bottle. You guys can drink from that water, but you can't use that phone because it doesn't exist. But this phone is du jour. It is, we'll say, real, and this is de facto. This is fake. This is the corporation. You throw the corporation on top. You say, all right, everybody jump in, have a sip. Once you have a sip, you can become a citizen of this water bottle.
This is juice. Guys.
Yeah, and people are like, well, what the fuck? What about that phone? Oh, don't worry about that phone. And once you sip from this, there's a bunch of things. What you've done is you've given up your rights for privileges. You've exchanged them.
Mm-hmm.
So people say, I'm backed by the Constitution. No, you aren't. Because now what's happening is you actually have to look into who you are when you enter a courtroom. As soon as you have a barrister or attorney represent you, they're representing you. They're acting like the you,
The
artificial person.
Yeah, I know. So when you go into a
So-
courtroom, though, you really, and even a court, like a court, it's a sport. It's
Well, that's the thing.
and you have to
They don't
step
want
up onto it.
This
You
is-
pass the rail when you go. There's a
bar,
bunch of
yeah.
symbolism.
Yeah.
This is the thing. They don't want you to represent
That's why
yourself.
sovereigns or people with a nationality do not cross the bar.
Yeah, you know what? That
They don't
pisses
sit
the
in the
judge
docket.
right off. They'll
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
in the back, and they're like, "You have to come to
Magistrate.
the front, sir." The magistrates. And no, I'm not.
Yeah, yeah.
Because once you cross that bar, that means you're entering that British accreditation
Venue,
regency.
yeah.
You're
Well, in
crossing
the
in.
courtroom, if you cross over to the other
You
side.
no. You know, there's that bar that's like there's that little gate.
Yeah.
Right, and everyone sits in the back, and then you got to cross that banister,
Yeah.
and then you sit at the table.
Yeah.
The symbolism of crossing that banister, I believe, is now you're crossing into you're making a declaration saying you are a part of that system.
So now it's almost like that.
You're like, you
it's
can
like you're going
educate.
into their
their realm, their court.
their court. So you're basically moving into.
You're playing.
You're
They're
playing the game.
What do they call it when they call it the embassy? It's like you're like now walking into that embassy.
Sure. Better yet, to keep it simple, you're playing. You're basically saying, yes, I'm ready to play the game.
And it's
I'm a willing participant.
I'm a willing
I'm
participant.
volunteering.
And a court is always go to a gym court. What
Yeah.
type of floor is it? It's wood.
Yeah.
In a courtroom, what type of floor is it? It's wood. What does a referee wear in a tennis match?
Black and white.
What does a judge wear?
Black and white.
Same thing. It's like. But when you cross that bar, that thing, you're saying I'm a willing participant of this. But if you sit in the back, the judge is gonna get real mad.
You just say, no, I'm okay. I'll just sit here.
Yeah, like real mad. And if you were to
A friend of mine
represent
says,
yourself, they'd be pissed. Like they go,
a
They
wolf.
get
A
mad,
wolf.
they
A
get really
friend of mine
mad.
says a wolf in sheep's clothes.
yeah, huh?
And he'll say like, I was like, what? He's like, yeah, wolves in sheep's clothes. You ever heard of that? I'm like, yeah, I have. He's like, well, haven't you seen like these judges who wear like that shit on their head,
The little rolls.
the rolls on their head.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
a wolf in sheep's clothes.
Damn.
I was like,
Whew, that's powerful.
yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting one. I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
No commissions.
Yeah,
Though.
no commissions. Yeah, but I like this. I like this kind of conversation. Like, I don't even care if it goes like if we've gone in rabbit holes. Sorry for the viewers if you can't keep up. It's all right. You can watch it over a couple
We'll
times.
leave a couple links below
But,
for people to do some research, and you can kind of watch us over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, allow people to kind of realistically though, like in this type of shit that you can't just tell somebody. You have to literally you have
Yeah.
to go down your own rabbit hole because
Yeah, yeah.
because you're gonna learn stuff that basically is pertaining to you particular,
Mhm.
right? And so like whatever you're learning is pertaining to what you need to learn.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, a lot of
You
the
learn
things,
everything.
a lot of the things got to transfer over if you want to do certain things, or like what's that? Dave Clifford. What's his name?
Dean Clifford.
Dean
in
Clifford.
Winnipeg,
Yeah. If you want to end up doing that, one, you got to know your shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing as like.
Dean Clifford. Look him up in Santos Bonacci, I think is his name.
Bonacci?
An Australian Italian gentleman. Santos, Santos Bonacci, Bonacci. He's got some deep content. I think you guys will. I think you'll really enjoy
Santos Bonacci.
He goes in on a lot of really. He goes at great depth in mathematics and agrosonics, biosonics, all that stuff. Like, it's awesome. I like his stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, for those who'd be interested, Santos Bonacci has some really cool stuff.
Content information.
Content, yes. There are many out there. I'm not a big fan of Alex Jones.
Yeah. He kind of went off the deep end. No,
Yeah.
he was dope a long time ago.
Yeah. I remember listening to him like 7 years ago.
The Obama deception.
Yeah. And like David Icke.
David Icke. Yeah.
I call him
David
Icke.
Oh, Icke, dude, yeah.
Like,
He's the
how
reptilian guy. He loves the reptilians.
Yeah.
Like,
how much did they actually like discredit him? Like,
Who?
Like Alex Jones. Like he literally lost this. He lost it at one point. Like, cause he was really good at the beginning too, and then all of a sudden he just freaks out. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so pissed off. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, it's hard to
he was dope at the beginning.
to follow along with someone who just seems so erratic and emotional and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, we're
this thing is
neurotic
crazy.
beings, but to be that neurotic, it's like, ooh, if you're not in charge of your mental faculties, I can't trust you
I can't
as
take you serious.
yeah.
As a thought leader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
like,
guy's
I'm
telling
like,
me this looks like a lunatic.
yeah.
He wasn't at the beginning. He dropped a lot of knowledge at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the start. You ever watch the Esoteric Agendas?
Yeah.
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 So around that time when those came out, Alex Jones was dropping shit too. And he was going to Bohemian Grove and like running around back there. Like he was doing some crazy shit.
Like, was he at the Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, he was like
He was in there?
Yeah, he's been like one of the people that's ever been in there. Yeah.
Look, there's an owl over here. And then
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's some freaking weird ass shit.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, the closer to the light you go, closer to the light, the stronger the temptation is. So you need to be careful. And that side, the closer to the light you go, the stronger the temptation.
What do you
to
mean?
take it.
Like, what are you talking about?
From how I understand what you're saying, it's like once you're exposed to the secrets, and the inner workings, sometimes it can really fuck with people. Like they can get. It's like I have a friend who read the 48 Laws of Power.
Just went totally
And he
crazy.
was like, oh, what the fuck, yo, just manipulating women, do whatever he could, like taking people for everything. Like, I don't know.
I've read that a few times.
And you know what I mean? It was like, it just
Perverted him.
yeah, he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
There was something that wasn't there. Like, there wasn't enough compassion. There was
That book's
plenty of
terrible.
education.
Like, well, not terrible, but it's
It can be, like, if you,
it's destructive.
Yeah.
If you want to use it that
so
way.
I think that's kind of what
Well,
you're saying.
There's a balance that's going on between the power and the darkness, right? There's a balance that happens. So what happens is the higher you go up, you have it's just like physics. You have the
Sorry.
it's just like
No,
physics.
it makes sense. I thought
You
when
have the
people say
same-
things,
you
yeah.
have the same push going back in the opposite direction. So it's
Yeah.
very it's like I've seen it. I've seen people that are basically like they come out very holistic and very humble and very clean, and then you can see at one point I'm like, whoa, they flipped. They got flipped, and I'm just like, that's why I say like it's a dangerous realm to go down. Like if you
What, becoming enlightened and learning certain things?
you have to understand what it is that you're doing. Is all I'm saying. It's like it's like you can't. You have to understand that there's a duality between that, and that there's
Well,
two
light and
sides.
dark are just like varying degrees of the same thing. So I get it, like the balancement
Yeah.
stuff is,
So like,
but-
if you look at it, like the way I look at it, light is like, in most areas, everyone lives in this gray area where you don't really know what the fuck is going on because like there's just shadow everywhere.
I
And
like the
then
gray area. It sounds like it's in the middle, so you can look to both ends of the spectrum and observe, from a better position.
And
I
then,
like.
and then as you
Sometimes
as
it's a good
you
place to be.
move-
Yeah.
As you move closer to the sun,
Yeah,
the line becomes very sharp.
yeah.
And you can tell the difference between the light side and the dark side. It becomes very distinct, and it's very easy to just go boom and cross over.
Well, what is the dark side? The black sun. The sun turned inside out. What is it? What is the dark side?
Yeah, you're talking like a spiritual sense, or what are you talking about here?
Yeah, it's like the whole spiritual side of everything
Yeah.
too, right? Like you can't, the darkness cannot exist in the light, right? It cannot exist in the light. But the thing is this duality is always a mixture of light and shadows together. So the higher you go up, the closer to the light you get. You're also like, you're just as close to the darkness.
Dark, I guess, got you.
You know what I'm saying? So like the darkness is just as powerful. So the more light there is, the darkness is right there. Boom.
Is that seen in reality as well? Like where if you have
Yeah,
a
so
brighter
like
light,
the
the
sun.
shadows are
The
stronger?
closer, like if I blast just a blast of light, right? If let's say if the whole room was just lit and there was no shadows,
You wouldn't
just be
see
white.
anything, yeah.
White, you would not have any perspective.
No
of
reference,
anything. You
yeah.
would have no reference. You wouldn't see anything. I wouldn't even see myself because there would be no shadows to create depth. in that.
Contrast.
There's no contrast. It's just white. It's just nothing, right? That's where the whole mixture is. Everything in here, everything we see is a mixture of shadows and light mixed together. But the closer to the light you go, there's also that darkness that cannot exist in that light. And it's just, there's literally a line, like a separation between it. Anything that stands in between the light creates a big, massive shadow. So the closer to the light you go, the stronger the temptation becomes. That's all it is. And you have to be aware of that.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Holy shit. Wow.
He's like, damn, I'm sorry, honey. Temptation just got.
How much did he lose? 200 million? Or was that Kobe? He lost like $500 million or something. Didn't Tiger Woods lose all that? Fuck, man.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez, that's
That was just
terrible.
like, you know what, though, like she was just looking for a reason at that point too. Be like, I'm out. I'm out of here.
I'm outta
Give me
here.
all my money.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you screw up if you do that.
He
Yeah.
screwed up once though, man. He was literally in. How often was this happening on a regular basis?
That's a massive screw up. The whole thing was a
This is
screw up.
lifestyle.
I guess so, eh? Actually, was it a screw up? I don't know. Maybe he knew he was going to have half his money taken. He was like, yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he
I don't
said,
think he
fuck
was
it.
expecting to lose all of his
Sponsorships?
Sponsorships,
He's
yeah.
like, oh man, I'm not getting paid for like my golf anymore, and I got this big bill now I gotta pay.
Yeah.
Now I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
Fubu called him.
jeez.
Hey, we got you. I think that was on Dave Chappelle. It was like, tough break. Like, there's always Fubu and KFC or something.
Holy
or
shit.
Fubu and Popeyes. I was like, damn.
Wow, that's bad.
That's terrible.
He goes from Ping or Nike to
Yeah.
Fubu
Fubu and
and-
Popeyes chicken.
they make money, but like
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem like it fits in.
That's nuts. But, man, on that, I think even something that I experience right now, and I get heat from some people, persons, but it's cool. On my position, with regards to like other races, like some people be like, man, with the knowledge, like with the information that you have access to, like, why wouldn't you hate Caucasian? Why wouldn't you, hate modern European people? Why wouldn't you hate misnumbered white people?
Anybody.
And like, exactly, I'm like, why?
That's
and
so
then,
ass backwards.
But then I had someone, I said that to someone, I was like, why would I? And they were like, oh, it's because you're dating it's because you're dating a Caucasian girl. You're dating a modern European girl. I'm like, all right, you're welcome. I don't even know where to go with that.
Yeah.
And
But then why
like-
would you even like give that emotion any clout? and
yeah,
energy and that
no,
stuff like that?
and
Like,
it's but it seems like it's because earlier you guys had asked me the question, like, do I have some people who are like, hey man, let's fucking kind of like
No, I
roughshod
could
it.
see a lot of people
Yeah.
coming up to you, just you specifically,
Yeah.
and being like, yo man, like looking for validation in their thoughts of
Yeah.
not liking the modern European person. Like,
Yeah.
I can see a lot of dudes doing that.
Yeah, and it's like I get back to it. I'm like, one of my best answers is like, find yourself.
Yeah.
Find yourself. Know yourself. Like, and I feel like once that individual does that, that it's gonna change so much. Like, your perspective changes. Like, you realize that the only thing stopping you from recourse and remedy is yourself, not an oppressor. Like, there may be a system that is, they call it a white man's world. Guess what? It's my world now, bitch. It's like, I'm white. So you can't, shit, it may not be the way you want to go because you're so emotionally tied into calling yourself black and encouraged to hate everything that's white, or because white, and the same thing is on the flip side. There are white people out there who hate black because that was the training that they received, and they think anything black or better yet dark is evil, is, you know what I mean? Kind of like in your story, like you could still see that because you'd be like the lightness and it's the greatness, but then the darkness is the evil.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's your training that encourages you to express yourself that way.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Why is there even
why?
darkness?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
It's like, why? Let's say we flipped it and I said, well, the darkness is the good and the light is the bad. What that would do to someone's identity, right? Like if you start looking at, okay, well, if it's light, it's not good. Or when you look at the term white in the dictionary, it's evil, angry, and then you look at dark and it's all these good things. Like, does that affect someone? You know what I mean?
No, that would massively affect them.
So I think there's that exists. The black people hate themselves. The people who consider themselves dark, they don't all hate themselves, but there's this like
stigma. Or
it's like they open up a magazine and it's not black is beautiful. Or when they say black is beautiful, they're saying it because they're already tired of not hearing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's this kind of anguish and all these other emotions that just built up. And then it's like, where do I direct this shit? Well, you direct that shit towards yourself, because what you need to do is know yourself. You got to spending time being angry at someone who's also been lied to. Go and find truth. Go and find truth.
And we're all different.
You know, and when I say go and find truth, doesn't mean all of a sudden you're like, all right, I don't fuck with Caucasian, or I don't fuck with modern European people, and you know, and I don't fuck with this type of person, this type. No, you'll realize that, and knowing that stuff, you can realize that we're all fucking family.
Yeah.
All scholars know that we are the human race. So when someone says, "What's your race?" Human race.
That's
like where? So where? No, but where are you from? Are you asking my nationality? Because if you're asking my nationality, it's a different question.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, a different answer.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
if you're asking my tribe or
this whole thing of the separation, it doesn't like change anything. Like, the only way it's ever gonna stop is that we all just stop looking at each other as.
But in the world of administration, and legality, there is a distinction.
In statistics.
Yeah, there is a distinction between like I said, the caste system has been color coded. And your commercial status, like we're commerce.
This is be fun. How fucked up would your statistics be if everyone just
basically
put down white?
Thank you.
Everyone put white, then they couldn't fucking do statistics on shit because they couldn't separate.
That stuff drives me mental. Like you said, it's there's a game of chess going.
Yeah.
Or sorry, checkers and chess. And then there's the people playing the game, and they pit two colors against each other.
Yeah. Well, look at it.
Did you remember? I see it all the time.
Well, look at on the race and ethnicity definitions. It said Hispanic, American Indian or Alaskan Native. It had Pacific Islander. It had there was another category, but then it had black and white. Those are the only two colors.
Yeah, I know.
The only two colors.
I know. It's not like
look up if you want to look up the origins of the word white and why Irish and English, Irish and British European settlers were calling themselves that. You'll want to look up the date 1661. 1661, white Americans. Look that up. Also look up Naturalization Act, as I said, of 1870. And then you want to look up the 1854 oath, the Knights of Columbus oath of 1854. It was the Knights of Columbus, the Whiggamore Party, and the White Party, WIGHT Party, I believe. And you should look up that word in the origins of the word white. WIGHT. And the oath that they swore, I believe that was when they, for the record, started calling people of a lighter complexion white. So.
And then you got these people in the middle that don't even like let's say in a.
Well, Jews, Italians, and so on and so forth, like
they're not
so on
white.
and so forth. They weren't considered white until a certain period of time. I believe it was around it was actually later than 1854, if I remember correctly. I feel like it might even been in like 1920 or something like that. I should look that up.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a wild one. It's just funny. There's black and white, but there's brown.
But brown is not in the.
I know it's not in the. It's not in the
legal thing. People will
thing.
call themselves. But that's the thing. It's like when it said
black and white.
When it said Asian, it didn't say yellow.
Yellow, yeah, I know.
It didn't say / yellow.
Yeah.
Like, where is African America? Where is it? Like black African American. Why would a European?
exist.
who lives in America call themselves an American and not a European American.
Don't they do that? Don't they do a Canadian?
No. You didn't see that there.
No,
It's
not
different
legally,
when
though,
yeah,
not
yeah.
legally.
That's what I'm saying. I want to talk fact.
You want to talk fact?
I'm not. Yeah,
misnomer.
we're not talking. Yeah, we're not talking the other stuff. Because I can call myself what I could call myself, God, like Kanye. You know, I can call myself whatever, but we're
Legally,
talking like
we're talking
legally.
facts.
Yeah.
So, like,
That would mess up the statistics if everyone just wrote down white. And then it would be like, then you guys got guys who get the statistics, they look 100%, be like, what the fuck do we do now?
well, that's how you kill. That's how you kill racism. Oops. You realize that racism actually doesn't exist, technically speaking. Because if we're the human race, who are we? Is there some green alien reptile like next door who's like, fuck these humans? You know what I mean? Let's fucking murder these motherfuckers.
You know what's
Like,
wild?
no.
I had this talk with my buddy.
Extraterrestrial inquisition.
We'd all band together and go after the aliens.
Yeah, so it's
Well,
like
that's what, who said that? Somebody said
it's like
that.
in Independence Day, the movie. Like,
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Everyone bands.
China, Russia,
No, that's what would
United
happen
States of
though.
Who
America.
said that? Was it Bill Clinton or was it Reagan or something? One of these guys, I think it might have been Reagan when during
Yeah.
the Space Wars, where he's like, if we were being abducted by aliens, we'd all band together and we would all be
Yeah.
one.
That's what happened because if we were getting decimated by aliens and I was like I'm running through a crowd of people and like everyone's getting murdered and like let's say there's like a KKK dude and a black guy,
Yeah.
right? And the KKK guys run away from some alien and he sees a black guy. He wouldn't be like, oh yeah, fuck that black guy too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
keep running.
Get
He'd be-
him.
yeah, he would be like, yo, buddy, come with me. Let's get the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
let's get rid of these fucking
Well, it's the
aliens.
thing. It's like you see that with. There's so many examples of that going on right now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh fuck, like somebody's coming at one of your someone's coming at somebody in your community who you never really liked them. They're coming at your community. All of a sudden, you band together with that individual. Like, yo, we have a common enemy. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's work together. And so
happens in Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like, no, it does though.
Superman and Spider-Man in the that last DC movie.
Yeah, they'll be like, yo, we can't take out Galactus ourselves. Okay,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
it. Let's like, it happens and stuff like that, you know?
Martha.
It's just cool though. Like,
Yeah.
I really think that's
So yeah, I
neat.
think if you look at it, it's like racism is a social construct. So you look beyond that, and in order to look beyond that, you have to dig and find out who you are, like know thyself, and beyond this, like what the system. Well, the system is still an alternative story. But it's like we are a family. Like look at there are so many scholars who are probably like laughing at what's happening, what has happened, what's happening. They're looking at people like, just man, this person really believes that they're black and they're white, and that's their race. Like we taught them that they're the human race. These people are hilarious. Like what? Like what do you do? Oh my gosh!
I can
Like,
actually
don't
see
you
that
realize
now.
that this
You're
is
right,
a
you're
commercial
right,
stand?
actually.
This is a caste system. Why are you buying all of that stuff? Why are you like what?
This is the stuff
You
that
know?
they do. Like, hey, listen, man. Let's see if we can throw some. Let's see what other shit we can make them do, and they'll still throw that stuff in there because you gotta look at it like they control what you watch, what you eat, what you like. They're programming you. Like all your programming is happening.
Well, yeah, and then
Class
but
people.
is control an illusion? Like they hand you an illusion of like this illusion. You should eat this or you can eat that.
Yeah, you
can
don't
eat that,
have to.
But you can do what you want.
Yeah, we got the choice.
Yeah,
we don't
you
have to watch
the choice.
TV.
Like Kanye said.
He used to drop so
He
much
said,
knowledge, man.
Slavery is a choice.
Oh, everyone
And
hated him.
everyone hated him for it, but
He was on some other shit though.
yeah, it's like there was more to that.
I
that.
know.
What he was trying to say is that you can either choose to be a victim or you can basically not give that power off. That's what it sounds like more to me.
You speak. You
Give that
say.
power to them.
You say something like that to a layman type people, and they're gonna get very upset. The headlines are gonna be Kanye West says slavery is their fault or something
Well,
like that.
imagine
It's
this.
like-
Imagine. Okay, let's say
I might
LeBron-
even get in shit for saying that.
Let's say LeBron after a game was like, they're like, hey LeBron, how does it feel? Like you just broke the record for. Let's say he broke some record. I
Yeah.
feel like he's broken records before, but anyway,
he has, yeah.
say he broke some record, like blah blah blah, but a record that someone of African American descent has never broken before, and they're like, you're the first African American male to be the richest man in the world. Not really, because Mansa Musa was of Mali. But anyways, and he goes, I just want to let you know that I'm not black. I'm actually, my parents' are from this land. They're actually Sioux, or they're Cherokee, or they're Yamasee, or whatever. And they were here before settlers arrived. You know, and then before mic drop, commercially, I am white and my standing is indigenous. Good night.
Yeah.
That guy would be dead tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, yeah.
His
yeah.
voice is too loud. Waka Flocka, for example, Waka Flocka the rapper, he sang that song, whatever, with I'm a wild boy. That was one of his,
Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. Anyways, Waka Flocka, I know he had some other bangers, but I know more people might know of that song. But he was on air and was like, he was live on TV once in an interview, and he's like, I'm Indian. I didn't come from Africa. But grandparents didn't come from Africa. Their parents didn't come from Africa. I'm fucking indigenous American. And,
Like,
and then everybody was like laughing this guy out. He's a fucking idiot. Bow Wow did the same thing on national TV. I'm So Raven did the same thing on national television.
Yeah.
Barack Obama did something the same, like something similar to that on the
yeah.
Tom Joyner Morning Show. So it's like, they're giving it to you, but you're not listening, kind of thing.
Yeah.
People will get emotional, be like, "Oh, this motherfucker gave up, man. Gave up. He doesn't want to. He ain't one of us." Like, that's right. Like, you made a conscious decision, not an unconscious decision, to accept black. You made a conscious decision to identify with the appropriate categories or designations. You know, if he's operating, he has to operate. He has to navigate through contract and commerce. So he just chose the best suit and the one that is suitable to, you know, to him based on the definitions.
Yeah, that's also true too, man. Your statistics would change too, because if most of the decisions are made based on databases and statistics. So
Thank you. Someone asked me the other day, like, oh, what the fuck about statistics? Why would they create that for
because
statistical
all of a sudden
purposes?
I go to a bank,
Like-
you go to a bank, and the fucking bank teller just puts in all your information into a fucking machine, and all of a sudden the machine goes approved, not approved, approved. Like, so
Based on the algorithm.
based on a fucking algorithm.
We hear that word all the time. Like, it's shit.
It's not the guy sitting across from you.
He's
No,
like,
it's considered.
this guy's black. Fuck it. Like, it's Darnell shit. Not gonna accept it. It's like they have dossiers. Like, we voluntarily give these people information. We incorrectly identify ourselves based on the terrible or the
Teachings. we've
terrible
had or
teachings
something,
we've
yeah.
had. Like, for so many years of my life, I was like, man, I'd sit across from somebody who's like, I'm Italian. Like, man, you got amazing culture. What about you? Where are you from? I was like, Trinidad. Okay, like, what has Trinidad done? Have they contributed to, you know, we had pasta. We got the strong
got
family
pizza.
values. We got the pizza, and we got this rich, beautiful culture. You know, what'd you do? It's like, well, in this history book, in chapter 4, there were 2 pages on my ancestors wearing shackles, came over here on boats from Africa. But where in Africa are you from? Fuck if I know.
I don't know.
Shit.
Damn.
Fuck if I know. Well, can't you find out? No. Because due to the Spanish Inquisition, everything's gone. Like, everything, but I don't know.
A lot of shit's
Then later,
gone.
like, I kept digging because I'm like, man, I had very low, like, confidence because, like, I'd hang out with my African friends and they're like, they knew exactly where they came from. The culture was rich. They were so tightly bound together. And I'm here, like, feeling like I'm born into bondage. Like, the shackles are on me too. And it's like, okay, like, where the hell, how far have I come? Because sometimes I can tell you how far you can go.
Yeah.
If I came from slavery where I am now, like, I think I'm kind of making it. But shit, like, if you came from slavery, goddamn, like, I gotta fucking evolve times. I gotta 4x this shit in order to get ahead. 10x this shit. And then I just wanted more. I started reading. And reading is another word I gotta look into that I should stop using. Anyways, I just started going after that knowledge.
Your syntax.
Yes.
Semantics and syntax. Stay on top of it,
yes,
pal.
I started going after that knowledge, and it was like an eye opener, you know. And it was just wild because then you start looking at, like, you get to see the lies. And in the beginning, very beginning, I was really angry. Then after a while, I just started saying, like, shame on me for just being in that bubble for so long.
I think there's a lot of
You know?
that happening.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of angry people not knowing where to point this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why when people are like, oh, fucking white people, man, they're just holding us down, they oppress us. I'm like, no, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. That's family. That is family. You have to watch what you're doing. Because if you start chasing and you're expecting to see more things pointing in the direction of hating that person, you're gonna see more of
You're
that.
gonna see more of it.
And then your journey is gonna be all fucked up.
That's the opposition.
Your
bro.
journey is all fucked up. So that's the thing that I remember as a kid watching Mississippi Burning or this movie or that movie. And I remember I went to a school where I was the minority, visible minority, as they say. And I remember watching those movies at home and then going to school and be like, fuck, man, that's fucked up. I wasn't mad at the kid, but I was like, fuck your dad. like, how old you? Yo, is your grandpa still alive? Fuck him, kind of thing. Then I had to kick that to the curb because it's like, like, what was that doing for me?
Nothing.
Not a damn
Perpetuating
thing.
Anger, yeah.
Not a damn
I think
thing.
it would be like fucking. I don't know. That Chi Bey is a little rough. I don't want to hang around with him. He's kind of aggressive.
Are you able to explain Bay?
Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know about Bays and L's, like Shriners take on those
Yeah, I know.
titles as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Yeah. What does it mean though? Can we say that for people, or is that all good?
They can study that.
Yeah, you can study Bay.
study it.
B-E-Y?
B-E-Y.
B-E-Y. What does
B-E-Y.
B-E-Y mean on somebody's name?
B-E-Y and L's.
And L's, yeah. And then Othieno?
Othieno, to the Luo people of Kenya, means boy born in the evening. So I chose that name, that appellation name, in announcing myself as a flesh and blood living soul. Chi, to the Luo people of Kenya, is God's energy. To the Asiatics, particularly the Chinese, it's energy, Chi.
Chi energy, Chi.
Bey-El represents my Moorish. It basically represents my nationality.
Yeah.
So leave it at that. So yeah.
Jeez. So wow.
So yeah. Othieno Chi Bey.
Yeah.
Or people like to say Othieno because they think it sounds sexier. But
Easy.
however your tongue.
Easy. My name's Othieno.
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 All right. Well, thanks, man. Thanks
No
for
worries.
dropping a bunch of knowledge on us, and we're gonna have to put a bunch of links on the bottom of the show now, so people
Yeah.
can go research this shit.
Yeah.
Because I think you just opened a whole shitload of rabbit holes for everybody.
Yeah, mostly this is a lot of rabbit holes with
A lot of
this
rabbit holes
one.
for people to learn.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the conversation. There's more rabbit holes, and I'm definitely gonna go learn.
Yeah. I had a bunch of notes in my phone because I was like, I actually wrote down things not to say. And then like points to, I wanted to come on the show and just ask questions. I didn't do a good enough job because I always say I like to provoke self-discovery. I guess I don't because I instinctively did not do that. But I just wanted to ask questions. I wanted to say, why do we call ourselves black? Why did Martin Luther King say what he said? Or why did Malcolm X get assassinated? Or why do you celebrate Black History Month? Why do you call yourself black? Why did your ancestors call themselves colored people, Negroes? Why would you call yourself a color? What are the ramifications? What are the consequences based on personam law, classification law, when you call yourself a color in a courtroom, when you got to play? What does that mean? Does that now take you out of a natural state of a natural people and turn you into an artificial person? What does it mean to be an artificial person? What rights do you have? What rights do they decide to give you now that you're an artificial person? Like, I wanted to come in and just put it like that. It was like a poetry, you know, just a mass amount of questions, but whatever. We did the damn thing.
Yeah, no. It's,
That's vernacular. But I mean by that is, it has been done.
yeah, that's wild. Jeez, yeah, there's a lot of information there that the people have to go over. Right? There's a lot of.
And you know what? I think people should go over stuff. Like you watch movies, you watch documentaries. A lot of people will step away and go, "Oh, it's truth." Go and research that shit. Don't just accept it.
Yeah.
Like you got to research that shit.
There's too much garbage.
Experience it too. Sometimes you got to study subjectively instead of objectively. Like a lot of times you just study from the outside. Like feel it, get into it, apply it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like people go, "Oh, why do you want to study all this stuff?" Because there's remedy for me. Like, and not just like there's remedy. I'll just leave it at that. Like I can do shit.
Yeah.
And I don't mean do shit as in
I
get
know
in
what you're
trouble.
saying. Yeah, no. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I get you. I get
Yeah.
you. Jeez.
It's a white man's world.
It's a what?
It's a white man's world.
Oh, you're white.
But what is white?
Yeah.
That's not an actual
Commercial status.
Commercial status. It's a commercial status, and that's exactly what.
Yeah.
It's just basically a status on a piece of paper that allows the guys at the top to figure out who the statistics are.
Well, there's
chess game.
Yeah.
The chess game.
Yeah.
Just
Now,
But there's more legal political backing behind the term the status white than there is black. So black is like the lowest of it's basically the bottom of the barrel. You know, when you're talking legal and political venues. So
and then the media perpetuates the black, white. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It drives me mental when I see like a news headline and it's always black man did this or white man did this to black man. But then let's say it's like an Asian dude and a native guy, right? It just says man and man.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Chinese guy robbed something.
Yeah.
Like or held up XYZ
That's the thing.
nationality at gunpoint.
Yeah. But people just had to like look at that. Like we all know the story of fake news.
Yeah.
If you know the story of fake news, then
Stop
start
following
questioning everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question everything. Why do they say that? Why do they always want to talk black on black crime? Why do they always want to talk about the incarceration rate as it relates to incarceration rate for a particular demographic? Like, why do they always discuss that?
Yeah, they always
people in
discuss
prisons
it,
and,
yeah.
You know, the black female is now the second most, you know, whatever, is the second most person to be imprisoned, you know, in their lifetime. And it's like, okay, what the fuck's going on with everybody else? Like,
Yeah.
So that projection is what I was talking about earlier. The projection is a motherfucker because I could potentially precipitate your actions based on what it is that I say to you, what I spell to you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm like, I see it all the time. It's like you ask somebody a question and just the way that how you work,
how you frame it.
how you frame it
It's
and deliver it.
whoever's got the stronger frame.
Yeah, and the person's like, oh, you like that? No, I don't. All of a sudden, the person's now defensive. Versus, hey, do you like that? Like, I kind of do.
Yeah.
Like, you can sway people. Like, so you do that, and you hit them with the repetition, and now the subconscious mind just keeps playing it, and then all of a sudden, the conscious mind, the body, starts to play it. I'm that stereotype.
A lot of NLP
You know?
in that one too.
Neurolinguistics programming.
Yeah, a lot of that. They relate certain things to
Dialectic
certain emotions that you
behavioral
have.
training, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
So-
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I started getting when I got interested in this stuff, this content, this information, I started thinking about Neo in the Matrix when he was uploading, or was it downloading? Uploading information.
And he's like,
And he's
more.
like, I know jujitsu, or I know
Yeah,
kung fu.
Yeah. Oh, and he was stoked on it.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Don't don't randomly. I mean, you can randomly upload information, like, because you can learn something from fucking anywhere.
It's
But
just what kind of information
what do
you
you?
wanna put in.
Yeah, what's going on with yourself? What tough questions? What tough conversations have you had with yourself?
Yeah.
What are you lacking? What do you? You know. So whatever's missing, get after those programs.
Because you got to remember,
Yeah.
like people don't realize this, and once you figure this out, your thoughts control your beliefs control your feelings control your actions, your actions control your environment. So
Or
once
you can be
figure that
controlled
out-
by your environment.
Yeah.
So
Once you learn that, you get very, very particular on what you're putting into your brain.
You got to be downloading good programs.
The best.
Don't you?
Why do you put the best programs?
and the programs are food. Food is data. Food is a program. Music, sound, vibration is a program.
Yeah, whatever vibration.
You know, we can consider that a program. Like the energy. So when you say sound and vibrations,
It's all
the
vibration.
people you connect with, yeah, like you can think of the universe in terms of vibration, as
It's all
said
vibration, but like
Nikola Tesla.
it's the sound vibrations, yeah.
So it's like the people you connect with, connected.
369, look it up.
You know, so yeah, it's like you have what they call homework. You know, like
We all got homework, I feel.
Yeah.
Everyone just fucking started learning and really waking up and just figuring this shit out. Then, because everyone's just.
But even the
distracted.
conscious, sometimes maybe we can end this. I think about conscious mind, subconscious, and unconscious mind. It's like those are Freud's concepts. What if Freud never shared that with us? What would our training tell us about this?
That's so crazy.
So then it's like how much of that, like the stages of development to, you know, dream state, all this stuff, like a lot of, especially when you're considered a scholar or you're well read, it's like, who controls your reality then? So this rabbit hole that I'm in, it's like they say, the more you read, the more you realize you don't know. The more information, the more knowledge you seek, the less you know.
The more information.
But then you got to look up what wisdom is, and it's like, I believe it's like now you start to look at your ability to make these to deduce from the information and find the truth, you know, based on mathematics.
I like that. The more you know, the less
Yeah.
you know thing, because it makes you hungry. It makes
Yeah.
you thirsty for certain types of knowledge. They say, doesn't Warren Buffett still read a book a week or
Yeah,
a book
something
every
like
2
that.
days, or
Yeah.
like it's a wild amount of knowledge, and he's
The thing is that the more you start to learn, you start to realize, holy fuck, there's so much out there.
yeah, even the
There's
stuff that
so
you were
much out there.
speaking.
But
today,
why is
you
all
could
that
just keep
stuff
going-
out there though? But why is all that stuff? But you got to think like that stuff is out there, and it's like, are we studying nature?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. No,
we're
no, no, I hear
studying,
what
we're
you're saying.
studying.
Some fabricated.
Yeah, we're
it's not even
studying
real.
someone's opinion that was published, and now that is now a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we tend to hold, and I do this. We tend to hold that person's published work like this. Sometimes we hold it up to the light, and you're like, "That's bullshit." But there's many who we're like, "I'm so inspired," and that's great to be inspired by their workings. But then we
Hold on
hold
to it a
on
little
to
too
it,
tight.
yeah. And then you realize you're white knuckling it, and you're unable to let go to grab something else, or to grab your own, or to touch yourself, and try and be that creator. Einstein would say, look toward, like you stand atop the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
You're not carrying the giant. It's like stand on top of their shoulders, and now guess what? You are the giant to the person at the bottom.
Yeah.
So like I think we have to exercise our own godlike abilities, creators.
So this is
You know.
where it gets tricky. This is where we get back to. Okay, so and I'll explain. So frequencies, right? So we all agree frequencies, and you can basically be in tune with specific frequencies.
Yeah.
You can attune
Based
yourself
on your cycles per second.
whatever.
If
Yeah.
something,
You
okay.
can attune yourself to whatever frequency. So whatever realm you want to move through, whatever manifestation you want to do,
Yeah.
you can attune to the frequencies.
Yeah.
But there's infinite amount of frequencies, right? Infinite amount of possibilities, infinite amount of directions that you can actually take your frequency through, right? But there's only one frequency. There's only one frequency that nature is attuned to, because
It resonates
they
at
all resonate to that same
432.
frequency. They all resonate to the same frequency. Everything. They all.
Is that 432 or 528?
Which
What
one?
is it?
432. But yeah, so that's supposedly the frequency of the Earth. But that frequency, that thing, that one channel, that one direction, that one thing you're supposed to be moving towards, that's what people have to be looking towards. And that's what you have to look at.
How do you know that it's 528 or if it's
I don't know what
432?
frequency. I don't know.
Right?
the
That's
exact-
what I'm getting at.
No,
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know the exact. That's just what's out there.
Like, give me an instrument. I want to measure it. A blade of grass vibrates. I want to know the cycles per second of a blade of grass. I want to know the cycles per second of the rays at which the sun emits its it's rays in the earth.
I watched a
Like it
girl
ha-
playing a plant one time.
Yeah,
Was that you and
she was
me?
actually-
Playing?
Yeah.
Playing a plant.
Because the
She,
plants have frequencies in them.
Yeah.
She was actually amplifying the sounds.
Oh, okay. Agrosonics. Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah,
that was
through
pretty sick.
agrosonics.
So you can find out the frequency of something by
Yeah.
There's devices you can clip onto things and be like, hey, this thing
Yeah.
vibrating
Vibrates
at
at a-
this frequency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hertz it measures the hertz.
Yeah.
And hertz are cycles per second. So how many cycles per second is it vibrating at? Or do I say on?
I don't
Vibrating
know.
at. I think it might be on.
I
Anyways.
don't know.
Yeah.
I just
Trying to get this English language down.
That's wild. I just Papa, I just really think the people really want to know, Papa, is the Earth flat or is it?
I always say this planet is playing it. Hey, you know.
We're not touching that one.
Yeah,
Though.
we're not touching.
That's another
I'm gonna leave
episode.
that alone.
That's another episode.
Yeah. Someone asked me that question, and I asked them a question. I'm like, hey, by the way, how did they get this spherical shape onto a
Flat
two-dimensional surface, like to create the map? And I'm like, I wonder who had that job. I know whose job that was, but I'm like, that must have been so hard. And I'm like,
Jeez.
when you look at the UN's
Their logo,
their
yeah.
logo, it's like
know.
it's that. You're like, are they trying to tell me that it's a flat Earth? Or
I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one, Papa.
oh goodness.
Othieno, eh? Well, I think we could probably close that one up.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Hey, it's a hungry guy.
I'm listening to the whispers, and the whispers from the inside are telling me to eat. I need sustenance.
If you want to get big like
Othieno,
you gotta eat like
me.
Othieno.
You gotta eat,
like,
yeah.
You gotta eat like Pow Pow.
Yeah, Othieno Chi Bey, some folks,
where
the
do we find you
moniker is,
before we go, yeah.
where do they find me? You
Or
can
you
find,
want them to find
you want me to give my, I'll give my longitude and latitude. Shoot, on Instagram, a borrowed platform called Instagram, at Coach Pow, COACH, POW _ Instagram, Othieno, OTHIENO, CHIBEY-EL on Facebook. And those are the only social media platforms where I'm active. So yeah, if you want to ask questions, DM me, slide in the DM, as they say, the urban vernacular right there.
You forgot boats.
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about boats.
Yeah, no, we won't talk about boats.
Yeah.
That's another episode for another.
Yeah,
It'll
boats
We
could
can bring
be-
you back.
Yeah.
Actually,
And I'll bring the
back
shirt.
for come on back for boats, but no commissions.
No commissions. It still says that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Dude, keep it
Whatever.
like that.
We don't get commissions? Is that what it was?
No,
there's no
I'm
commissions.
hooking you guys up.
It's kind of like a. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a hookup.
You're
That's not a
extra-
commission
extra,
though.
That's
Extra,
not a commission. That's a
XL dress shirt. Good.
Yeah, 100%.
XL or XL?
I don't know.
Dress shirt size? Oh, okay. Cool.
42, right?
Oh yeah, right. That's, yeah,
Oh, the size. Yeah, I
yeah.
got to get measured up here pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. That'd be sick, man.
And then you just.
Can I say no commissions on it?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's so
Now the thing is, if you want it fitted, what I would suggest would be to go and buy a dress shirt that you like, and then get it fitted, and then give it to me, and then I'll paint on it.
I got.
Because in that way, it would be it'll,
Yours.
Yeah, it'll be yours, and it'll
Yeah.
fit well.
Yeah.
You know, like the show, the dress shirts at the fashion show. Those I made those for myself, and then had other people wear them.
It's baggy and weird.
Yeah.
Do you take like customs, like have a sit down conversation, consultation?
No, it's
How-
no commissions.
No.
It's no commissions.
What do you mean no commission?
I could just.
He
like,
doesn't do that shit.
yeah, I get shoes, shirts, whatever, and it's like I just look at you, and then I go to make it. Like I don't just look, like I just make something.
Yeah.
Controversial pieces, like all of them. It's like it's the rabbit hole. All like everything from the rabbit hole just gets put on clothes, and
Yo,
that's
that's
it.
actually sick.
Yeah.
Are you dropping knowledge on people and they don't even know it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like a walking
Like-
knowledge dropper.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
But you
long
don't need to
time
say
ago,
anything.
yeah, I got shot down for saying something. It was the first time I was like, man, what the fuck is you calling yourself black for? That I came out angry, and I came out swinging, and the person I went swinging on knocked me out. It was a family member, and they were like, you shut the f- up, like, they didn't say.
Yeah, no,
exactly
but
that,
that's
I
kind of how
just-
the, yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh,
Oh, sorry.
this might happen when I go out and share this
world.
with other people. It's like, who could be potentially more violent than my own family? You know, his family member wasn't violent towards me, but I took it like a particular way. So anyways, it dawned on me one day while I was painting on a shirt, I was just scribbling some random stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my messages in code on my
Yo,
clothes.
that's so sick, yo.
And then I just went with it.
I'm going through the gram and I'm going
And,
to see what I can pick up.
Yeah,
I'm
now,
gonna be like, yo, he's
the,
saying this.
the one
I'm
person,
not-
Getting the knowledge through pictures.
there's one person who knew this, and this is a friend in the, he was also a client of mine. I was coaching him, and he got on the customization game as well. And he was custom painting jeans and shoes and stuff like that. And he's at Yeg Souls on Instagram. Anyways, I showed him some of my stuff, my pieces that I created. And he was like, damn. So then I went in on it. He was like, yo, these are like in code, man. Like,
Oh, and he figured that out.
yeah. He was like, yo, these are like, that's deep. And that was the first person I told, like, what I told him what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I told my girlfriend about it. She was like, I could see this, because like there's a lot of stuff that'll go over her head. Like she's getting into it now. She sees me reading my books and stuff like that. You know, sometimes she'll come over and be like, what is that? You know, so she knows the definitions for these the NCES's race and ethnicity definitions. But like my Netflix and pills shirt, she's like, whoa. My free your mind shirt, my stereotypes shirt that has a stereo or old ghetto blaster, where it's stereotypes on the front, and then on the back and on the front it says, you turn into what you're tuned into. and then it has a speaker set that's connected to a cassette, and the cassette says racism on it. So it's like,
Dude, that's hard.
yeah,
That's sick.
I did the Ghostbusters shirt, like on like the same Pantone as the Ghostbusters shirt, like that beige color, and then it says boats right here, and on the side or on the arm and on the back it has the Ghostbusters crest, but it's a KKK member in his garb with the red circle around him with the slash through it. It's got
Jeez.
like the blood drop logo on it, and then it says Hate Busters underneath.
Where did you get that from? Did that come out of your mind?
Yeah.
That's kind of dope. That's sick. That
Just
Hate
the whole line,
Busters.
like, yeah, all the stuff I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put like Huey P. Newton, but J-Bo Newton, that Jay-Z used in the Jay-Z, the OJ Story music video.
Oh yeah.
I got him on the front, and then it's got the little blurb on who Huey P. Newton was, or yeah, he's deceased. And then on the back I got Ron Stallworth. There's a movie called The Black Klansman,
Yeah.
and Ron Stallworth played by Denzel Washington's son, was the police officer who infiltrated the KKK.
Wow.
And it's a true story. And so I got him on the back and like a write-up of who Ron Stallworth is.
Was that like?
And then on the,
Did Dave
on the
Chappelle
inside of
make
the
fun
arm,
of that?
you know what? Yeah, the black white supremacist. And
No,
there's
he
a-
was blind.
Yeah,
And he
the-
didn't know he was black.
He didn't
right?
know he was black. Now check this out. Look it up for those listening. Look it up. There's a story of this true story of a grand wizard of the KKK who committed suicide because he went and got his ancestry information and found out that he was 14% African
Yeah, and
American.
he killed himself.
He
Yeah.
killed himself.
Yeah, I heard of that.
So
It was like,
it's
fuck.
like that reminded me of the black white supremacists
Yeah.
from the Chappelle show. Because remember, at the end, he divorces his wife. He's like, because she was a nigger lover. And it's like, oh man. You know what? We should have talked. I mean, we'll connect another time. We'll talk about the word nigger
Oh, jeez.
and why you shouldn't be offended by it.
Oh, wow.
I posted it on Facebook, so if you guys want to dig on my Facebook account, you'll find why you might want to accept that as a term of endearment if you think about the ancient tongues of Africa and what that actually meant.
Yeah, that's an episode for another
Yeah.
thing. I don't know if I could write that as a title, though. Episode 22. Why you should not be offended.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going over
Oh
too
my
well.
goodness.
That's a hard R.
No, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, like if you, it's wild. And you know that like it's crazy.
Shut up, Steve.
Because like people talk about like where it came from, like it comes from here, it comes from there, and it's like where does people say it's it first came from the troglodyte nigger and Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and all this stuff, and you guys are closest to apes. It's like, did you know that the troglodyte nigger was also very light? Basically, look at it. It's the monkey in the movie The Congo.
Yeah.
It's like. So I don't know if like if you could just there's a troglodyte nigger monkey that it was like grayish in complexion, with kind of a red skin, so to speak, so it's like if I don't know.
It doesn't look at
I'm not
adding up.
It's not adding up. I don't know who this troglodyte nigger is and how the dark skinned person became a troglodyte nigger, but
I don't know. Came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And who
on
is
that
Charles
note-
Darwin? I know who Charles Darwin is, but I'm like, who is he really? Who is Dr. Edward Bernays, the
Jeez,
nephew of Sigmund Freud,
Yeah, you're giving a lot, man.
right?
You're gonna be here forever.
Sigmund Freud. He wrote. Dr. Edward Bernays wrote the book Propaganda,
Yeah.
1984. It's like he's basically telling you like, I'll fuck with your mind. You're not smart enough. Anyways, we're done.
Yeah, you gotta end the show though.
Oh, hey, yeah. No,
Oh,
I'm still listening. Yeah. Hey.
You gotta end the show.
Oh yeah, we got to end the show. We're gonna run out of tape here. All right, guys, this is the Thought Exchange. We kind of ran on a little bit, but that's all good. We're dropping some facts here. Othieno Chi Bey-El, Steve Van Dies, Cameron Barkey. See you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.
My mic died at some point.
Oh, it did.